What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a late night recording session of your favorite podcast. I don't know what that was, you know.
One last fight.
Oh, you're watching it now. All right, cool.
I just watched last scene just ended right now. Is that Daenerys?
It is, my friend.
Ooh, well.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes never fool me.
I got to catch up on some shows, so I'm in line with that one, my brother.
Oh, dude, my eyes never fool me. Yes,
I'm like halfway done with She-Hulk now. It's like 4 or 5 episodes in. I think I'm on the episode where we first see Daredevil.
Nice.
And then I think that's it for the shows.
Dude, Daredevil's gonna be so good. All the stuff that I was reading too, that Punisher's gonna actually have like a good role in it, and it's like, okay.
What's come out after She-Hulk? Just Black Panther?
Just Black Panther.
Forever?
And I watched that.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Dude, there's a couple things I'm gonna bring up to you too, man. Blue Beetle. I think it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's gonna be in the Flash. Nothing to do with Snyder though, right?
Yeah. So it kind of sucks. Like, of course, the next 2 DC movies
That's
that
actually
look
what
really
scares
good.
me.
It's like, oh man, they're just gonna be one-offs.
So I'm telling you right now, it's gonna end up being one of those that's good, but people, it's a 6-foot joke. People don't even know what it is, honestly.
I mean, but kids nowadays,
Hopefully, it sells to kids.
They could know what it is because he's in he's one of the main characters in that Young Justice cartoon show.
That's
so
what I'm
kids
hoping.
and young adults have been watching that for years.
Then that's gonna be their selling point right there because I see it and I don't like it, but yeah, look good though.
Right.
Look cool because everyone knows what he is and who he is. Like
Okay.
I'm one of those.
Let me just hit up Skype real quick, make sure my mic is
So
good. Excuse me. Okay.
Cason.
There's the settings. All right, let's see if we can get a nice little joke like last week's, or 2 weeks ago, so I can pull and post it. That shit was so funny.
Oh, dude,
I love how
it's funny.
I love how it just totally went over Mark's head. Like, oh, he said that H to the Izzo.
we got some good critiquing too because we went to go watch the game and Marissa's Uncle Joey and his wife was there and that's the person she brought up. Oh, hey, Mr. H to the Izzo. She go, your boy Mike laughing had me crying because Mark is talking and not even noticing that Mike is about to freaking lose his shit.
I'm sorry.
I'm like that was a classic though.
That was the best.
I'll definitely come with some good ones hopefully tonight.
Okay. Alrighty. For those of you watching now or later, sometime in the future, remember how Seth Everett always did that? For those of you watching in the future, comment below and tell us how we get rid of COVID.
For the millions in attendance.
So, all right, guys. Ooh, WrestleMania was this weekend too.
Dude, come on now, bro. Dude, it made me even more regret that we didn't go to the one at Levi's. Like, what were we thinking, bro?
Yeah.
Not to go to that.
I know because I was years removed from fandom, but just to
still,
be there.
dude.
And I'm sure we could have gotten into the building for like less than $100.
Dude, easily.
Yeah.
It could have been a day of buy ticket type of thing.
Right. Okay. Let's go live. Let's do the intro. And
Let's do it.
let's see.
Courtesy of a Half Moon Bay Brewing Company.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, sir.
Did you get that when you went out there?
Oh, man. Yeah, a little reminisce on our wedding vows to Kay, and then we ate at the brewing
nice.
company. Dude, not a mile of wind, bro. It was beautiful out there. Yeah, it was good
It's
times.
windier than shit today here and last night.
You ain't never lie. Here, too, in Newark. Freaking wild.
Yeah. Okay. Intro in. Let's get 10 seconds of silence, Cason, please. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Welcome in, ladies and germs, to another episode of the Comic Bookies podcast. Episode 182 starts right now. In sports, we have plenty to get into. It's one of the biggest months of sports to watch. We are in April now, but March gave us outstanding NCAA March Madness tournament. We have NASCAR going to review the COTA race, Richmond race, and preview the Bristol Dirt Race this Easter Sunday and the race at Martinsville. MLB opening day was a few days ago, so we have that to get into, and the NBA and NHL regular seasons end very, very soon, so we have those standings to preview, and also, and the NBA and NHL regular seasons end next week, so there's plenty of playoff talk to be had as well. And over in comics, we have plenty to get into over the last 2 weeks. I will say that one of the books that I review is hands down automatically top 5 of 2023. Can't wait to get into that with you. And we have plenty of news in Harry Potter. We talk about Blue Beetle and Secret Invasion trailer. Jonathan Majors, although it's late news, And Jonathan Majors, although it's old news, he is in a world of trouble. So, oh man, I had something I was going to put. What was it? Yes. So sit back and relax to issue 182 of your favorite ongoing series that collides the worlds of sports and comics each and every week, the Comic Bookies podcast. Let's go.
Let go, boy.
See, for our couple viewers right now, that is the beauty of editing. I can go ahead and mess up a few times on the intro, and then that's pretty weird that the intro is the only thing nowadays that I may like kind of, because I have all my notes right here. It's like, how did I want to say it again? And then boom, once we get into it, like for those of you who have ever watched a whole episode, nothing is really taken out anymore unless there's like some technical difficulties or something.
I like when the live's on too. They actually get to hear it. Mm-hmm. It's okay for them to see the mistakes because all that stuff you guys watch, the $1 million people getting paid, it's there he is.
Right.
Oh shoot.
Right.
Took the words out of my mouth. Look at him walking in like a national champ. Flew his ass to the national championship and got a hat already.
Right. A national Final Fours in Phoenix next year, Sean.
Got him. Phoenix, baby.
Okay.
Him, dude. Hanging out with Shabazz Napier. Shabazz. Emeka.
All right. Going back live in 3, 2. Oh, I had to get that click first. Thanks, Mark.
Ooh.
Everybody pop. And welcome back, everybody, to a Victory Monday here on the Comic Bookies podcast. We have plenty of victories to get into. Kyle Larson wins at Richmond Raceway. Mark does not lose a bet since the Elite Eight. I'm so excited to get into it. But episode 182 of the Comic Bookies podcast starts now. We are brought to you by our generous sponsor, Alex and Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. He is open Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday of every single week, although he just announced he is not open the Saturday for Free Comic Book Day on May 6th, but you can catch him in Fremont. Actually Wednesday, the 5th of April is New Comic Book Day, so wherever you live in the United States, around the world, go and support your local business, go and support local comic book stores, and get those books, and do some reading, and follow along with us, because whether it's this week or 2 years ago, you can always go back and listen to an old issue of the Comic Bookies podcast and get some good reviews for some new and old books that you should be picking up. Speaking of 2 years ago, or a year ago, or whatever, I would like to say and congratulate my two cohorts right here, Mark and Sean. We just hit our 4-year anniversary, almost to that big, even 5-year anniversary. So it's been nothing but like the best thing I do either every Monday or Tuesday or every other Monday or Tuesday, depending on what our schedule is. But gentlemen, first of all, happy anniversary, and how are y'all doing?
It's doing wonderful, bro. You just hit us with probably the best news of the podcast. The anniversary, the thing is running strong. Even when Mark said the other day, the average podcast lasts a handful of episodes, and we're 4 years strong, over 150, 180 plus episodes. So, no, that's just a monumental, I think, achievement in itself, and there's no sign of this ending anytime soon. That's for damn sure. But no, man, the weather, we've stringed some good days of weather, so that's been good. Obviously, I get to see your guys' handsome face. Sports is through the roof. Books are... Look at him. We're stop playing games, man. This for all the Monday night freaks out there. All right. But no, Oh man, everything is good, bro. We're vibing tonight, feeling good. How are you guys doing?
What is up, brothers? Yes, episode 182 is here. We are live. YouTube, check us out. If not, this is always coming out to you on every streaming platform. But yes, 4 years. We always know that it's another year around the sun for this podcast, which is the comic bookies, when the MLB season arrives. Because I remember stressing out so hard 4 years ago, making all the longest episode, knowing nothing, just. We didn't know anything except everything about every single damn team in the MLB that season because all our damn notes. And man, we've came a long way, and it sure has been fun. And man, it's just we're gonna hit, probably 200, obviously, in this year. I think so. So getting close to that 187 because we be murdering it and we be killing it out here. So we just got to keep delivering it, and we got to do it even bigger for 187 and 200. So. It is Championship Monday here, and let's just get at it and talk about sports that we love, the books that we love, and the entertainment that we love and that we love to share with all the fans, man. Let's do it.
I mean, I remember 4 years ago taking those notes, right? So I had my small little Pac-10 back then. It wasn't even Pac-12 yet, I think. But I remember I keep all my notes, sports and comics, to one page nowadays because I want to just look at one friggin' page. I remember when we first did the MLB season preview for that first episode, each page was like a division. It was all 4 teams, the previous year's division, their division, like where they finished, their record. Each team, like what, like a player to look for, their key departures and key acquisitions. I was like, holy shit.
There's a lot of work in this shit.
Right. And now it's just kind of like on the fly where I can look at my phone or I have some side notes for a season preview. But man, 4 years, we've come a long, long way. And although we're not as big as Joe Rogan or anything on like Barstool Sports or whatever, it's been thoroughly, enjoyable every single week to sit down with you guys and for all of our other guests to kind of get their books out, to talk to guys like Casey Pratt to preview the baseball season and stuff like that. It's been just the best experience so far in podcasting because it's like we text anyways, like us 3 text every day. Mark, me, you, my brother text every single day about sports and different things like that, and just to sit down and actually get to hash it out and just kind of shoot the shit while we're drinking beers, drinking coffee, water, whatever we're drinking, man, it's been a great ride so far, and I can't wait to do it for another 5, 10, 20, 50 years.
I miss Steven that much. Tomorrow I'm starting a group text with us 3 and Steven.
Nice.
I miss my little bro, that guy. That's my dirty dog right there, man. That's for sure.
There it is.
You said it,
Just
man.
expect to get some NASCAR hate. Because he hates all racing, and then he tries to troll me.
Steven, bro.
He tries to troll me because Bobby, his best friend down there in Arizona, is a huge F1 fan. So he's like, "Oh man, did you guys watch that F1 race?" Like knowing full and well he didn't watch the race. He's like, "Oh, what an exciting race! Like so much speed, hitting corners at 180, 190 miles an hour. Oh god, I love it." And I was like, "Dude, fuck you, dude."
The only thing I will say, I actually did add something to my bucket list because me and Marissa, if we were watching a movie or something, and it was just like, of course, the way they made it look, going to a F1 race in Monaco might be one of my bucket lists because Monaco is freaking gorgeous.
Did you happen to see it on Ronaldo's wife's show?
Okay, was that what it was? Okay, Marissa was watching something. Though. Okay.
Yeah, there was.
It looks like I know what you were watching too.
No, I absolutely not. I was just walking by. My wife was watching. Absolutely, I did not sit down and watch the whole season. No, I think it was the episode where they were chilling on the boat with friends and stuff, and Ronaldo wasn't there, but she was. But they had their whole, Shell Pennzoil gear on or whatever because they were they're fans of Carlos Sainz because he's a fellow person from Spain. So yeah,
that should be pretty fun, man. Monaco looked beautiful, but yeah, man. Hey, aside from that though, hey, look at y'all, man. Monday night, man. Let's have some fun tonight for sure.
So let's start Victory Monday off with Mark, an amazing run. I think we kind of had. I'm not sure.
Job, Mark. UConn, baby.
I think we might have had some real bad with all of the bracket busters. Not a really good first and second round, that first 4-day weekend, but then going into the Elite Eight after the Sweet 16. Mark, dude, amazing. Like you glommed onto UConn like you did a few years ago, and
look at
nice job.
You better buy a UConn hat for sure this year, bro.
I mean, dude, what they whooped every team by at least double digits, I
Right,
believe.
yeah.
Every team. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I think what did they won by? Oh wow, they won this one by 17. I think the last game that they won was by
It
13, which was the
yeah.
lowest that
They
they.
actually said this one was the closest. You showed like that last minute
The
or
last
two.
game I think was the closest, 13. So
They said scoring wise it was, but they said this is the only team actually kind of pushed them like a little bit. But UConn was just a dog, man.
I mean, you guys probably have a lot more to talk about the game than I do. I didn't really get to watch it. I listened to some of it on the radio when I was keeping track on some of it on my phone, mainly in the second half. I did see that San Diego State was able to pull it within 5, and it looked like they were going to make it kind of competitive, and then they just went on too many scoring droughts. They were having like 3-4 minute scoring droughts, and against this, University of Kentucky team, the Huskies, that I don't think should have. I mean, a 4 seed. This team was a 4 seed. Man, they walloped everybody. They covered every single game. That's what you call the money team. That's why I'm wearing this hat from their 2014 celebration, where they just, But this one was even a little bit, I'd say more historic, because they were a 7 seed and they were like underdogs in almost every game. These guys, they were like favorites. These guys just kept defying the odds as they were getting disrespected by the books, Mr. Shabazz Napier and them. And it's just 5 national championships now since 1999. You have to put them with 3 different coaches. Obviously, Dan Hurley coming over from that Rhode Island program that he was running over there for a little bit. Who doesn't want a UConn job? I'd have to say they're like a blue blood of basketball.
Calhoun, baby.
They have to be there, right? 5 trips to the championship game, 5 straight, or not, 5 wins, never been defeated in the championship game. And just in the state of Texas, they're 8-0 in the final 4 games, and just damn good team, man. We know what Gino REM has done with the women's program over there, how good they are, and just the men, they're not too shabby themselves, because 1 ring for each finger. Man, them boys are doing something right over there in the northeastern part of the country. What you guys think?
San Diego State, the only lead they had was with 16 minutes left in the first half. So, I mean, they were clearly the underdog today. UConn was better than them. Like, they were better. It wasn't close, I think, from a just pure talent standpoint. I think San Diego State defense and their leadership of having all those experienced players, those older classmen, helped them get to where they got. But they were going to hit a wall at some point. I mean, they were just outmatched today. Even like you said, bro, getting within 5 points. Like, they got within 5 points, but I never had that, like, UConn ain't going to lose this game.
And they only lost the second half by 5 points, 40-35. If they would have hung in there a little bit better in the first half, and maybe, they were down by 12 in the first half going into halftime. If they would have only been down around 6-7, this game could have been a little bit, closer, even though but UConn's just too damn good. But I do want to give props to San Diego State, 100%. A small little team from the Mountain West, dude. It's just small my ass, right? Man. These boys, man, they took out Alabama, I believe, right? Yeah, they took out Alabama. Yes. They ran through, whatever they had to do, got that last shot in the last game in the Final Four to propel them here by Butler. That was freaking great. Just they put on some exciting basketball. And, man, they have nothing to hang their heads on, man, because, I congratulate them for even just being there, man. They knew they were against the odds. I think everyone in the country did. The odds show it. The money line showed it. And just for them to even pull within 5 and make it close before, obviously just their Achilles heel. Just
yeah.
They're wrong.
I will say,
that was a tequila talking. I think,
or just the auto text, yeah. But I will say, apologies to at least 3 of my in-laws. At least 3 of my in-laws on my wife's side. Obviously, on my wife's side, they're in-laws. Jesus Christ. At least 3 of them went to San Diego State for school, so I was kind of rooting for them, just for on like a family aspect. But as far as what Mark's been doing since they're running, in the Elite Eight, I was going for UConn on that side.
Yeah, San
I'm
Diego
glad
State.
the line didn't go a little bit higher because if it would have pushed up to 9, I was actually thinking of taking San Diego State just because of the fact that I thought UConn was gonna have to play a single digit game at one point, right? And that didn't seem to be the outcome here as they win by sorry, what did I say earlier?
17.
Yes.
It is
17.
damn, it is
If they just
17.
had
Holy
more, I don't want to say confidence, but I think if they just had more of like an offensive presence, I would have felt way more comfortable with San Diego State because it's like UConn brings the ball down. I felt like they knew what they were gonna do. They were confident in it. Every time San Diego State brought it in, it was just like hot potato. Who's gonna take the shot? Like, it's just like you can see, okay, they're a defensive-minded team. Like they're looking for those fast break turnovers, like. Just too many mid-range hook shots missed. I forgot. One thing, though, is they have 3 Bay Area players on their team, San Diego State.
Oh, cool.
So that was pretty cool. A San Leandro High player. I forgot who else or what other cities and high schools. But what Mark said, man.
The only problem is they don't got Sanongo.
They don't got Sanongo, for sure. But you got to tip your cap to them, bro. They should go. I mean, yes, us on San Diego State, we lose, we're going to be pissed. But you do got to step back and like what Mark said, they had no reason to be there. You go home like you're a champion in your own right, bro. Like first Mountain West team to get to the Elite 8, I think it was.
Dude, they're no team, or actually I said that no team has
Ever.
No team from California has ever won a national title besides UCLA since Cal in 1959.
Crazy.
And they won
That's
11 in a row at
wild.
UCLA. Jesus Christ.
Dude, what a program they had back in the day, huh?
I know.
With one of my favorite guys. What a class act, Mr. John Wooden, man.
Legend, bro.
Absolutely. So speaking of Sunoco, let's go into the Sunoco Fuel and the NASCAR Cup Series there.
Look at him. Look at
Look
him.
at him.
Look at the Segway King over here.
Ooh, where's the drum
The
roll?
kings of Segway. So I want to get my friend here. I want to bring in our guest for this week,
There he is.
Mr. Kyle Larson. If you're watching on YouTube right now, the finally the
Dude.
much awaited. I mean, you're just delaying the inevitable. Come on, it's Victory Monday. Let's crack one open for the fans. Richmond Wasteway ain't got shit. Finally, a restart goes in his way. Let's freaking
He
go.
could have been on San Diego State himself, Mr. Northern California kid.
There he
Not
is.
the
Really
area,
Cali boy.
but
I'm literally gonna say screw baseball and football and basketball. So I'm like, well, I mean, Warriors are Warriors, but like, dude, Mike is Larson's a winner. It's inevitable, bro.
Yeah,
It
Wiggins is
lot.
coming back.
I looked at I think it was a picture someone from Barstool Sportsbook, obviously it was either Spider or Large. They posted the updated like who's going to make it to the Final Four. And bro, Larson's odds to make the Final Four right now is like a plus like one something, like a plus
Easy
160.
money.
It's unreal. So he's obviously 99% locked into the playoffs at least with this win, but finally a restart goes in his way, Like there were so many things going wrong. Blaney had the toe itch.
It was the race off pit road. His pit crew is what.
Dude, there was a point in like I think the second stage when he was leading, and he was just like after he started losing, he was falling back like just dramatically.
Like they showed,
bad.
they showed on the TV broadcast, and they showed a snippet of the video from the broadcast on Twitter. The amount of difference from old tires to like right after a pit stop with 4 brand new tires,
Bro, it was
dude,
bad.
they're rockets compared to them on old tires, right? So, but a great race for him, a great race for Hendrick Motorsports because Byron was up there all day. Freaking Josh Berry in the 9. Holy shit, what a run.
What a strategy by that guy
Right.
to stay out and then get the caution at the perfect timing just so he can, pit with all those guys getting new tires. And, man, if Byron wouldn't have spun out, that would have been fun to see him race Mr. Larson again.
Byron was
Who
good
would
there.
have? Dude,
I mean, Byron
who
probably
would've-
would have won that. I don't know.
And supposedly, did you hear Martin Truex had no idea that he was on 6 old tires? I
Right.
guess his crew chief didn't tell him.
Yeah.
So he's, that's, I wonder why. Was that on purpose or was it
Communication error, I see.
Yeah.
communication error? Or is it the crew chief didn't want to tell him so he didn't want to think that he, just so he wanted him to try as hard as he can? But
Man, we would have got
I think you got to.
we would have got Leicester City money if we would have said at the beginning of this season that Josh Berry or someone other than Chase Elliott was going to win in the 9 car first before Chase Elliott, because no one knew about he was going to have a ski accident. And yeah, so Josh Berry, congrats to him on a P2 finish.
P2. That's right.
What about McDowell?
McDowell, yeah. I mean,
nice. What is 6th or 8th, right?
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Love's travel stop Ford Mustang there, because the guy, you know, I like to see. I don't know if it's this new car. I think that's like why they want to design this next gen car. But you're seeing a couple of these guys that have good runs, right? LaJoy, McDowell. I mean, they've had good runs in the past, but it seems like they're happening a little bit more frequently, which I like to see as well. So
that track was cool. I like that track.
I do. A D-shaped oval coming off 2 is tight.
Hard.
Coming off 3 is wide, and you get a nice little sweeping turn there for passing. But yeah, it's fun little track. 0.8 miles, I think. Not even yet. It's not even a mile, but a little bit more than half.
Yeah, I mean,
0.8.
And then what do you guys think of Coda, especially the end of that race? Is that something that you guys like, or something that you guys
I hate it.
Dislike?
And even, I mean, Dale Jr. on his download, he was actually talking about it as well. He's like, turn 1, that's a good turn. That's a good turn, but have it anybody else, have it anywhere else on the track,
right?
Yeah, have it in turn 1 with like these stop. I mean, you're asking for it, and I actually said that also. It's like that's what happens when you get a turn 1 like that, and 36 cars barreling down into an acute angle,
inches
like
from
at
each other.
30,
yeah,
like 30-40 degree angle. Like, what do you expect?
Right, because if you have that turn, yeah, you're right. If you have that turn, you know, halfway into the lap, then at least you have some sort of space in between all these cars. You know, there's not 36 cars. There's maybe 6 cars going into that turn at one given point.
Turn? You think about it, it's just like it's literally
because it's an
F1
uphill track. You know, it's an F1 track. You know, those guys are used to that. They're just going single file, hella boring. You know, up through that turn. But I don't know. The only reason why I liked it, I wouldn't have liked it if Larson was fighting for a win. But he had so much bad luck. Hamlin got into him. Bubba got into him, and he was like 2 laps down after having to pit after all those after he got spun out the second time. But he fought his way up after all those restarts at the very end to a P14 finish. So something, you know, you're going to finish in the late 20s, early 30s, and he gets up to a 14th position after just an absolute shit day for 95% of the race. I was kind of happy at that point.
But Bubba crashed out too, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's when
he also said that they needed to replace him as a driver. He was all salty. But...
He was hella salty, Bryce. I
mean, he was just.
salty.
I mean, this is the only time where I'm like, shit. Like he's just being real, right? He's just really, really hard on himself, and he's always been like that.
Yeah.
Especially if you watch the USA, the road or the race for the championship or whatever. He's super, super hard on himself. So I'm glad that he didn't blame anybody, like either his pit crew or another driver. He was just like, I've been in this Cup Series like 7 years and I've made 2 straight weeks of mistakes. Got to replace me. So,
but that was a shit show, man. It was like worse than a super speedway. At least a super speedway going into it, I'm expecting that at any given point. The driver I bet on, it just the big one, the medium one, even the small one at Talladega or Daytona is a big one, right? In half the times, but you know, this is just like there's no big one. It's just my bets changed the hand so many different times at the end. I'm like, dude, please just end it now. Please. And then Bell gets spun out, and then please just end it on the next one. And then I lost Logano on like a spin out, and like, dude, I ended up like losing like damn near all my bets because it just becomes a shit show at the end. So it's like, mark me down for maybe no bets on a Coda for next season, or very, very light. But
and I don't know about you, Mark, especially, but when you're looking at Logano, why aren't you sprinkling a little money on him every week? He gets disrespected every single week. He's barely in the top 10 for odds to win a race. He was a rocket ship in Atlanta, you know. He's the defending champion. He's won the championship twice. I don't know. Like, I feel that if I, you know, put like serious money on other of my bets, I would want to sprinkle pizza money every week on him to win the race.
Well, this last race in Richmond, I didn't really want to sprinkle anything on anyone, really. There's no practice, no qualifying. It's so hard to determine again. As you can see, I was a little bit more Chevy heavy this time around. I had a Byron. Which that messed me up too. I had Byron over Harvick, and then at the end it spun out. I was like, dude, every week this is happening, and it's just like,
What a terrible mistake by Bell. I mean, this is the only time where I'm like, shit. Like he's just being real, right? He's just really, really hard on himself, and he's always been like that. So I'm glad that he didn't blame anybody, like either his pit crew or another driver. He was just like, I've been in this Cup Series like 7 years and I've made 2 straight weeks of mistakes. Got to replace me. So. He locked up those fronts, and he was,
Yeah,
he just got
yeah.
right in. That was such bad luck. He was right there.
But I can't, I guess he gets a pass. Bell's been really coming into himself lately, man. He's great, and
He's
I
been
think
good
he's
this
going to be.
season.
I wish he was
I
in
know
a
you want to
Toyota.
talk. I know you want to talk about Martinsville in a little bit. I think he's going to probably be pretty good there too, man. He's just he's been consistent everywhere he goes, and he's getting better and better. And he might pretty soon, man. I think he's going to be like the class driver for Joe Gibbs, man.
How old is he? He hella young.
He's probably
He's like 27,
Yeah,
28.
I think you're right. He's like mid-20s. But before Martinsville, we had the Dirt City, or the Food City Dirt Race in Bristol Speedway.
Bristol.
The last,
And it's Sunday night,
it's
actually. About
Sunday night,
7
right
p.m.
after Easter
Eastern.
Sunday ham. You've already had your dessert, and boom, here comes the dirt race. So we obviously with these dirt track drivers, we have guys like Christopher Bell and Reddick, Larson. We have some of those dirt track drivers, but we have guys like Logano, who won 2 years ago the first ever dirt track race, and Kyle Busch won his one and only win of last year was in the dirt race. You have guys like Buscher. I'm not sure how he does on dirt, but he won the Bristol night race in the playoffs last year. So something to look at as far as you probably get good odds on someone like Chris Buscher, who I listened to the VSiN podcast, Gone Racing. He does nothing but cash tickets, right? As far as like getting top 10 finishes or winning his group, that guy is a ticket
Buscher?
casher. Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Looks like
Okay.
Busher has just his 2 career races there. The two
Mark
top,
down Busher for a ticket casher.
I like that.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
Make your money.
So I mean, there's not a lot of data, obviously, on the dirt tracks. You have to go
2 races.
Yeah,
though.
there's only been 2 races for this track, but
2 or 3?
I think it's been 2. I think it's just been Logano and
2.
Busch.
Yep. Look right.
sure?
Remember,
Yep.
because remember it was who was it last year? Was it Bell and Reddick took each other out on the last couple turns, and Busch slid in there in P3, and he scabbed out the win last year. The top two, P1 and P2 spun each other out at the end of the race last year, and Busch snuck in and got that win, and that was his only win of the year last year. So,
Dude, look, this is how. Hold on. I was just trying to get you some odds real quick, but I just saw something because I just have to point this out because I actually did see the race. It was at 10 p.m. Pacific at night, and that was the Grand Prix that you're talking about that had like a record three red flags, and
Australia.
Verstappen got ahead of Hamilton, and he ended up like being 11 seconds ahead, and then he pretty much like locked him up, got into like a little bit loose, and just Hamilton was able to like close the gap to like 7 seconds. But dude, Verstappen just so fast. That Red Bull, F1 car, just whatever, fast as hell, right? And we keep joking about, there's no passes, and I'm like, there's passes, just not for the lead, right? But we're always making all these like assumptions about the sport, right? But dude, this is why I have to say it. Look, I'm looking at odds right here. Bovada Drivers' Championship, Max
Here we go, Sean, listen to
Verstappen
this.
minus 800. The next closest one is his teammate, I believe, Sergio Perez, the other Red Bull
Mexico,
car,
yeah.
at 14-1, minus 800 to 14-1 right? But it gets even better. It gets even better.
Is this for the
He's-
championship or for the race next this week?
Yes,
Jeez.
he's so much of a heavy favorite that over here they have an alternate line, Drivers' Championship without Max Verstappen. Sergio Perez, a minus 250 favorite with Fernando. Dude, it's ridiculous.
crazy.
Like one dude just pretty much owns the sport. It's like people used to hate on like Jimmy Johnson when he was like kicking ass and taking names and 5 straight championships and just being the great damn, champion that he is in his own right. But dude, this is just ridiculous, dude. It's just
That's a little too much dominating. Damn.
If they had playoffs, if they had a few extra races and sprinkled in some playoffs, kind of like the format that NASCAR has, the odds would be much less, right? But because it's just one regular season
Race.
and regular season champion, this guy could clinch the championship with like 2 or 3 races
Easy.
left to go. And like at that point, what the hell is the fucking point?
Right. And you know me, I can't watch that race late at
Right.
night, without throwing a little bit of cash. So I lose some money because I'm putting money on all these other drivers
No,
to
they ain't
like,
gonna win.
no, I was doing like fastest lap, right? And a couple to win. Like I did Hamilton to win. I got him at 7:01 live, which I thought was decent until I freaking see how
Dude,
fast
what's
the
going
other
on
dude
with him
was,
right now, too? Did I hear like this year and even like last year, like he's kind of.
I mean, he was good. He was
Oh
good
no,
in
he was the
Australia,
cream of the
so
crop, bro. I know he
I
was real good. You know, who
used to
loves
be,
dude
yeah.
F1 dude. Joe Dub loves F1.
Really?
Joe Dub
Really?
loves F1. Yeah,
I mean,
but yeah, I mean
but so many races are so early in the morning because they're on the other side of the world.
that's the
It kind
problem.
of sucks.
And I'm putting money on the fastest lap. So that was pretty fun. I put like a couple fastest lap, and you see the fastest lap changing. Fernando Alonso, and then Perez, and then Verstappen, and then Hamilton, and it's always changing. And at the very end, who ended up getting it? The one dude I didn't put the money on,
Yeah,
Verstappen, because the odds were just, just too chalky, right?
It's gonna be
So,
interesting to see like guys like Kimi Räikkönen coming over and racing these road courses in NASCAR. You had the guy.
Can we please stop calling him Ringer, Jensen Button, and we had
Jordan Taylor in the 9.
Jordan
in
Taylor,
Dakota.
I do like him. Yes, but can we stop calling these guys ringers when they come
Yeah.
over? They're not. I mean, they're good, but they're just they can't, accustom themselves to the car as good as a guy that runs in the cup
Dude,
every
those F1
weekend.
cars are hella different than NASCARs. 100%.
So it's going to be interesting to see when Kyle Larson drives in the 2024 Indy 500. It's going to be interesting.
Indy 500 is not F1
Well, no-
cars. It's a little bit
Right,
different.
but are they? But they're more similar to F1 than they are to a Cup Series, right? So
I got something to say about an F1 car first, but speaking of Indy real quick, I do want to give a shout out to Team Penske driver that did win this weekend, and that was at Texas Motor Speedway, and that was for the Indy car, Joseph Newgarden. So in his PPG
yes, Joseph.
paint scheme. So,
well aware of Joseph
Joseph.
Newgarden.
but dude, did you know that F1 they have something called a DRS?
Yeah.
It's down for okay. So Mike knows all
I only
about
know
it.
because
Okay,
I only
sorry.
know about it because the video game, not because I watch anything.
DRS.
So what is this
Okay.
DRS?
You want to explain, Mike? Because I just
In
found out
simple
about
terms.
it last week.
No, because I can't. I don't know.
DRS. There's like a spoiler on the car, and it's closed for downforce, right?
Okay.
And if you're the trailing car, if you're within a second of the car that's in front of you, it's there's certain spots on the track that are usually straightaways, not like tight turns, right? So it's like with straightaway, and there's like a certain part on the track, and you can see it. It's like marked, and you can like engage your DRS downforce something system. And it's like a NOS, right? But it's like not a NOS because you just press the button and that flap, the wing on the back, instead of it closes and then it opens and then air goes through it. So it's just like they say it gives you 20 miles an hour, something to like help pass because, but I mean, when you're Max Verstappen and you're 11 seconds ahead, though, that's not going to help you. So,
yeah.
Nice.
Pretty crazy. It's kind of like a push to pass, little like makeshift. There's been a lot of talk about whether it's good or not for the sport.
Yeah.
But
So I mean, you had a road course in Coda, you had a Richmond, you have 3 straight short tracks in Richmond, and then Bristol, the dirt race, and then Martinsville, the shortest track of the on the circuit, it being a half mile on the AKA the paperclip, and then you go all the way to the Geico 500 at Talladega. Yeah, super speedways. We'll get into that in 2 weeks when we record that podcast. But
do you guys like how we pretty much kind of have 6 super speedway races now instead of just 4?
Because we have 2 Atlantas, right? Is Atlanta goes there twice?
Correct.
Yes.
Look at him.
So, your picks,
Christ.
quick picks, like the lottery.
Let's
picks.
go. I'll
Give
go.
Me a quick pick for Dirt. Give me a quick pick for Martinsville.
Marco's first.
Man.
Or Mike.
Shoot. Because I want to say Christopher Bell at the dirt track, but then Christopher Bell at Martinsville. Oh man. Okay. You know what? Unfortunately, we'll go 2 straight weeks of Toyotas. We'll go Christopher Bell, and then we'll go Hamlin at Martinsville in 2 weeks.
Okay, I almost want to go. I was into Christopher Bell for this, so I do Christopher Bell opposite for Martinsville, and for this, let's go with. That's funny. I was in top 10. Hamlin. Let's go with. You know what? Let's go with Stenhouse.
Okay. Stenhouse.
He has a top 5. He has a top 5 there.
And then he also,
Okay,
I think he
okay.
spun out in one of the two races.
He did. He had a spin out, and look at you right here, and then the other one he had a top 5 at Bristol Dirt.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Mark, what about you?
Let's do Larson and Blaney.
Ooh, Blaney.
I'll do Larson for dirt, and I'll do Blaney for.
Nice.
Blaney's been doing horrible.
He hasn't won
2
since the Trump administration.
penalties.
Come on, Ryan.
Did you see? He got the tool stuck on the top.
That's
of
why I
the
just
car.
said that the jack. Like, come on, man. And he had to come around.
Dude, yeah. And I think he got speeding penalties, so 2 penalties
The NASCAR,
on him.
come on, man.
One wasn't on him, but his team, and man, he's gonna have to pull it together. I think Martinsville, he's gonna be up there, man. He's gonna be at the front.
All right. Well, those are your picks. Enjoy those 2 races. All right, fellas, let's get into the MLB opening day. So very, very exciting.
Yes,
Both of our teams, the A's and Giants, are perennial powerhouses here in the Major League Baseball. Gonna,
Let's go.
I mean, I'm sure those odds to win the World Series are just like Max Verstappen. I'm sure they're right there. So
I'm gonna pull them up right for you as you keep
Don't
talking.
scare us, bro.
Mark,
Don't scare us.
what are better odds? The A's having at least 85, 90 losses, or Max Verstappen to win the championship? What has, just the best odds? I want to know that, because the A's, I think they lost again in extras, 12-11.
They lost 12-11 versus the Indians today, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, that's gonna be a
Guardians.
common
Sorry.
theme.
There it is. The Guardians.
That's gonna be a common theme in 2023. The A's just lost. You're gonna hear that a lot. So.
Yeah.
I mean, Giants too, bro. I mean, Giants, of course, we have to start versus New York, who reality is they're a powerhouse. First at bat versus freaking, who was it? Freaking
Judge.
A bomb.
I know.
Judge and jury. Jesus Christ, bro. But the Giants did have a good one today. We're 2-2. A's are, I think, 1-3.
1-3,
I want to say. I just feel. I've never hated the A's. You guys know that. I'm a Niner fan.
Just until the playoffs.
Like the Raiders. Say it again, brother.
Just until the
playoffs. But, this is one of the legit years. I actually feel bad, and I hate it. This is the one year where I actually can officially say that A's ownership do not care. I can't even name 5 players on the A's think, this year.
So
Fujinama, how you gonna tell me, bro?
Fujinami.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, 8 earned runs. Yeah, see you there.
Dude, he took out his first 2 batters and gave up 8 earned runs after, bro. No, this is straight up, bro.
So my dad,
this is the first year, bro.
My dad gave
It's
me
bad.
a good stat the other week. The A's, I can't remember if it's a top 5 or top 8 or 10, but it's within the top 10 most profitable teams in Major League Baseball.
Don't get me started.
And you're
bro,
thinking to
because you're
yourself,
gonna get right into my
how
next thing.
in the
Hold on.
shit does that happen? How? They don't draw.
So
Capitalism.
it's because of expenses.
The
Somebody just posted something on this, bro.
there's
Go
no
ahead.
overhead. They don't pay anybody.
That's the problem, bro. And what pisses me off, you open the floodgates up. Somebody just went in, and oh my god, it's somebody who A's fan, not hating on it, beat writer, whatever. Oh, we need to put a hard tax or a hard something on teams that spend hella money. The Mets spent more tax dollars or whoop-de-whoop than the A's overall salary.
Yeah.
Whose problem is that though? You're the most profitable.
problem is that though,
Bro, it is a problem, bro. Because the thing is, that's like the counter to, we're the one of those profitable teams. Well, bro, you don't pay nobody. That's your own problem.
They don't got nobody.
But they don't pay anybody. They don't pay.
I know. That's why they don't got
I
nobody.
lose my mind, bro. Winning solves everything. I do not care. You guys, you two especially, went to all those A's playoff games that were through the roof cracking. Bro, you can't tell me winning doesn't solve anything, bro. Maybe during the regular season, not everyone's going to show up. Hey, bro,
Winning, it's not even about winning. It's about, like you said, knowing the damn player's name so you can maybe get excited about the damn giveaway they're going to do.
The thing is, too, you need to have names. At least, those years you guys unfortunately went up against Verlander, you at least got to, the divisional championship, there was something there at least. I promise you, bro. You guys are going to freaking finish last place or second to last. I can't even.
They're 500-1 to win this World Series.
Bro, it's bad, bro. It's bad, bro. It is hell. Your opening day.
The Giants are 50-1. It's not horrible. It's not 500-1. I mean, that's
500-1. My God, why not?
Dude, Teamster,
put a dollar on it.
Why not? I don't know, bro. It was fun though. I mean, the stats we talked about in the pre-production, bro. Like Mike said it last year. I think the season before in episode 110 and maybe 50 or 60 something. Baseball is about walks, strikeouts, and homers. That's it. Giants in the first 3 games versus the Mets had 49 strikeouts. 49 strikeouts. Conforto on the Giants, their big signing of the offseason, has like 12 strikeouts in 4 games. How's that even possible? Like, you can't make this shit up, dude. Like, it's bad right now. It's ugly baseball.
Sean, what do you think about the new rules? Do you like the new rules?
I do not mind the new rules. Big bases, I don't care about that crap. The only thing is funny because I was following a tweet. I don't know if it was Guru or Butcher. I don't know who the hell it was, but somebody said it's funny. These new
It wasn't
rules.
Damon Bruce. I'll tell you that.
Damn sure wasn't no Damon Bruce.
Former
But it's
employee of 95.7 The Game.
So
They couldn't afford him.
the
They couldn't.
bases,
The Fisher Group
bases
owns
and the no shift is to see if they can add entertainment. That is strictly what it is. Let's get more hits. We don't need 3 infielders on one side. So damn it, that deep second baseman and shortstop prevented that single. You need more actual hits. The clockwork is working though.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it'd be more throwers, and I was a little bit scared. There's only been 1 violation, I believe, in the first 4 or 5 days of baseball.
But yeah.
So I was scared. It was more just throwing. Like pitchers are like too rushed. You know what? It's actually worked out pretty good so far.
Because how long does it take to get a sign? from the pitcher standpoint and the batter standpoint, get your ass in the box, get your ass on the hill, and throw it within 15 seconds.
The only thing I was going to ask you though, and actually is a real question. So if I'm a pitcher, okay, boom, I pitched it, I get the ball back, I'm in the stretch, I lock. 3, 5, 4. Can I disengage in the shot clock?
No. I think once the foot.
I don't like that.
I think once the foot.
I don't like that.
Well, I mean,
that's the only time. I guess I agree. Don't get me wrong, bro.
Wait, hold on. If there's runners on base and you're going to throw over, or if you're going to at least
pump fake or something.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think it starts over from there.
So you shouldn't have to disengage, obviously, if there's no one on base. That makes perfect sense because they did show the example. And of course, I think baseball did their due diligence of looking for the longest freaking pitcher.
Right.
It was 1 pitch, lasted the whole inning. You seen that?
Right. That's right.
You seen that?
And like my dad is super old school. Like I was talking to him last weekend, he was like, "Oh, I love it. Like 4 in the dirt." 4 in the dirt, like on 2 sides of second base. I don't know if I like that. I was arguing with him. It was like the shift and people putting the second baseman out in right field.
Put the ball down.
But it's exactly. It forces you to have to adjust as a hitter. Like if you know that this left-handed hitter is always hitting to the right side, he's pulling the ball, why can't you adjust?
God, don't get me started, bro.
Why can't you adjust? I know.
So you guys do not like the non-shift rule.
I like it because you can get more hits, but right now statistically, what I brought up earlier, over 60% are home runs, strikeouts, and walks through the first 5 days of baseball. So it hasn't changed.
So it totally trumps someone's opinion on it's more entertaining. There's more holes for you to get base hits, but there are already more hits. Not even base hits. There's no balls being put into play to where the fielder actually has to run a little bit farther to make a play. It's just not happening.
Maybe baseball players just suck these days. Pitchers are way better.
Tied the major league record on opening day. 6 pitchers had over 10 Ks. 2 of them were in the Giants game. Garrett Cole, who had 10 strikeouts about the 4th inning.
And Ohtani had 1, and they lost.
Yeah. It's bad, bro. It's bad right now. Like, the actual entertainment. People think, like, Giants today, 12-3, we hit 7 homers. It was cool to hit the homers, but there's no bingo baseball. There's no stealing. There's no butting them over to second. There's no gappers. There's no close.
I know. Why?
I've been saying this for...
You only get that in the playoffs.
I've been saying this for a long, long time, guys. Kids nowadays and this younger generation have so many things to occupy their time with. Screen times in these games and just like everything. Major League Baseball is trying to get those kids who don't, because I feel that you're not going to be a fan of anything, especially sports, unless you play the sport, right? Like football is kind of easy because football kind of is passed down, right? But there's not like... Thank God I played, because my son will be a fan of baseball because I played. He's going to play. But if these kids who spend all their weekends times inside playing these games, these Fortnite games. They're trying to do what they can to get that kid engaged and to watch a Sunday night baseball game.
Change the rules for them.
Right, change the rules for them. Like, oh, see how exciting it is? But so far in the first 4 games, it's kind of failing with these new rules. Because like you said, Sean, home run, strikeout, walk.
It sucks, bro. It's hella boring, dude. From that standpoint, it's hella boring.
I'm always going to be a guy who puts on the Sharks game or the A's game in the background. Cook dinner, play with the kids, but the game's going to be in the background unless I lose to the TV to Miles Morales or freaking Cinderella, right? But I don't know. It's just they're fighting an uphill battle. That's what I'll say as far as getting new fans. Or to keeping the ones who are on the fence about it, like, this is getting kind of boring. I'm just going to drop it and do something else. It's an uphill battle. So good luck to them to getting these new fans because, of course, I want the sports in general. It helps for our content, right? I want those ratings to be up. But it's not.
Well, you brought back a very good flashback blast from the past with the Albert Bell getting hit. Ooh. And not want to go to first base because, dude, and I agree with Mark also, playoff baseball is where bingo baseball does come into a little, it's almost like NBA playoffs. It was at least a little bit more of a half-court offense, half-court defense, a little bit more organization instead of hey, go right on and get your free layup. I don't know, man. Regular seasons just turn into just a shit product in almost every sport.
I was paying attention. Well, I was paying attention a lot to the Padres last season and their run to the whatever the hell they made the World Series, right?
Padres?
Did they?
No, Padres did not.
No,
make
it's
the
the Phillies.
World Series. Padres made the championship series.
Yeah, they played the Phillies.
Yeah,
that's right. Sorry. But I was watching their run in the playoffs, right? And probably because it was Bob Melvin, but he really executed a lot of those get them on, get them over, try to get them in, and
that, bro. Yes.
Exactly. And I that's why I was rooting for them because of Bob and just man, they couldn't prevail. But let's see, they're obviously about 8-1 right now to win the World Series, kind of right there with the Dodgers as well. Your top 3, Houston again, Atlanta Braves. The Yankees are about 7-1 as well. Yep. Mets without Verlander, about 9-1. I like to see Seattle 18-1. I'm excited, even though they're in the West. Mike, you were on them last year. I think they're gonna, they're 1-4 right now. They're not doing that good, so. But, season's young, 5 games in for them, and they're 18-1. So I want to see how they're going to do. Yeah. So, Los Angeles, as the Angels, as always, they're getting no love, 35-1.
They get no love because they waste talent. They go there to die, man.
Rendon, 4th game suspension.
We've talked about this for years. How many people, if you poll 1,000 people who live in Southern California, if they walk down the street on an average Sunday afternoon and Mike Trout walks past them, how many of those 1,000 people are like, hey, it's freaking Mike Trout? I'm going to say 100 or less.
Way less.
You go to Angels,
he's not marketed. They don't. I don't know. But anyways, so baseball is going to fall into this once a month kind of check-in, just like hockey and basketball is.
Yeah.
But right now, the Rays and the Twins are the only 2 teams at undefeated at 4-0, and one team, the defending NL champs, Philadelphia Phillies, are the only over. They're 0-4 so far. So moving on to NBA, we'll kind of hit the NBA and NHL to end the sports section of the podcast real quick. The regular season of both sports, like I said in the intro, are done this upcoming next week. The 9th is the last day of the NBA playoffs, and hockey ends on the 14th. So, gentlemen, let's start with the NBA. Man, I know I'm not watching a lot of games, but I just know just from the tweets and then the stories and just kind of hearing everything, and obviously I get the quarterly updates. Man, the Warriors are just this freaking roller coaster, up and down.
We're okay.
We're getting Wiggins.
We're getting Wiggins back, and we do get the
Wiggins.
confirmation. It was actually I believe it's his dad who's seriously ill.
So currently,
very, very bad.
So currently, right now, we're actually not even in the play-in.
No, we're not in the play-in at all. And
we're a half game up.
We're actually in a decent spot, Mike, because if we get that 4 or 5 spot, we're likely going to be playing Phoenix, who I do not want to play Kevin Durant in the first round. And that 6th spot, isn't the worst thing right now because we're looking at a Sacramento Memphis possibly. And I mean, as long as we don't get the play in and we get Wiggins back, get 4 or 5 Wiggins games before the playoffs start, I think we'll be back on track.
I mean, yes,
he is that big a deal. He is a
Yeah, but isn't there only like 5 games
less
left?
than that. We have 41 and 38 right now, so that is 79. We have 3 more games left, and we're 2.5 games behind the Suns, who have a game in hand. They've only played 78 games.
Though. Let me see realistically. Absolutely tied right now with the Clippers. We're in the 6th spot. We play OKC, I believe, tomorrow. We end the season in sacks, so we go 2-1. I mean, damn, it's so interchangeable right now because the Lakers are a half game behind us with the game in hand. So
we have to kind of win out because the Clippers and the Pelicans are half game behind also.
Pelicans are the hottest team. They're like 7-1 their last 8 games, and just we need to get at least 1 or 2 Wiggins games. Wiggins won't play tomorrow. He'll be at the game, I heard. But if we can get Wiggins like 1 or 2, hopefully he's been staying in shape. I mean, that's kind of what you're hoping. GP's already playing again. This is one of those last seasons, I think, where we can say we're going to be one of those top dogs. And we look old on the court right now, bro.
Yeah.
This is actually it was good, I think, for the ownership to also say like, shit, like no Wiggins, like we just look old. We do, bro, with Dre.
And that's sad, dude, because Curry's our age, Sean. Curry's 35. That sucks.
But he's an NBA 35.
I know.
People forget about Curry's first 5 years, bro. He's missing games left and right because of those ankles. Like, people forget. Like, Draymond's freaking just battered and beat it up.
What about Clay? Clay's like bionic, man, now with the knee and the Achilles heel.
So what do you guys think about the Eastern Conference, just to kind of end NBA? So is the champion going to come out of the Eastern Conference?
Yes.
And who is that going to be, Sean?
Milwaukee or Boston.
That's it. No chances for Philadelphia, Cleveland, the newly clinched New York Knicks.
No. My opinion, I like Cleveland. I love Cleveland, up and coming, but I mean, not yet. Mark say something, but I'm going Milwaukee and Boston right now.
Oh, man. It's kind of, I mean, that's what it is, really.
Bro, they're cream of the crop.
It's, Philly, it's hard to say anything about Philly because just with Harden and knowing his history in the playoffs and I just feel like Philly's that team that has to show me, right? Prove it to me before I can really start saying that they can really do anything. But they can, technically speaking, but yeah, I think you're right, Sean. It's kind of like Boston or Milwaukee, really. They've been the cream of the crop out there, and I expect them to, for the East to either go through Boston or Milwaukee. That's what I'd say.
I will say they're only about an hour and 10 minutes south of me. Sacramento Kings, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for doubting you, for posting that shit earlier in the season.
Me and you, bro.
Yeah, dude. I think.
Light the beam, baby. Light the beam.
I lit the fire under their ass, dude. They know who I am. They know my face. They probably have my shit plastered in the locker room. Let's do it for this mother. No,
because you know what? We didn't say that they wouldn't make the playoffs. I don't recall us maybe hating that far. Okay, maybe I did too. But you know what? I'm happy they made it. Let me make that clear. I actually like them because, they
didn't just make it.
They're a 3 seed right now, but let me make it perfectly clear. And this I'll take to the grave. They ain't winning a championship this year. I bet you my second, my savings, I maxed out all my credit cards. They ain't winning no championship this year. Guaranteed. Just like Charles Barkley says, they are not winning a championship this year.
Because that's who we'll play if we hold on to the 6 seed and they hold on to the 3, right?
I ain't saying we won't beat them, but they ain't winning no championship.
They might get out first round.
They ain't winning no championship. They're not there yet, but I think Mike Brown, Coach of the Year, absolutely love what they've done, bro. You name me 3 players on the Kings right now, Mike. I'll be happy. Come on now.
Let's see. Oh, shit.
Give it to me, baby.
Peja Stojakovic, Mike Bibby, and Jason Williams.
Wow.
And that's what I'm talking about. And now it's
Chris Webber.
Aaron Fox, Sabonis,
Harrison Barnes.
That's right. Barnes is up there. That's right.
Malik Monk.
Monk, yeah.
Good for them. That's what I'm saying, though. Good for
they're
them.
young.
Bro. Right?
but they're young.
Oh
But
man.
they're young.
They're young. They're young to the scene. You don't just not make the playoffs since 2000, the longest running drought in the four major sports, right? The longest running playoff drought. You don't just all of a sudden just break that drought and win the championship, or do you? We're about to find out.
But
No,
and
they
they've
don't. No. I save your time
John
right now.
says you
And
don't.
they've
I can save
never
you time right now. They ain't.
and they've never won a
You
championship.
can't. You're
right?
not gonna. You're not gonna go into Boston, and even if you make the finals, just like if you play a Boston that lost it last year, that's gonna be hungry. I mean,
yeah,
I'm
going
just
to the
saying
Gad.
hypothetically, even if you do make the finals and you're playing against Boston, right? Just good luck in the garden. So
All right, so on to the NHL. We have a handful of games left in this regular season as well. Everyone seems to be chasing the Boston Bruins.
Are they gonna break the record, Mike?
You know what?
don't
I hope
think
so.
do.
Records are always meant to be broken. Usually I'm a hater of the Boston teams. Of course, being a Raider fan, I don't like the Patriots. Being just an A's fan, and all those years in the playoffs against the Red Sox, I don't like the Red Sox. But Bruins,
you don't like Johnny Damon, huh?
Johnny Damon was cool on our
Big
team.
Pappy.
He was hella
You don't
cool.
Oh yeah,
How about Jermaine Dye?
Jermaine Dye. Oh, come on. Love Jermaine Dye. My favorite Johnny Damon play ever, Sean knows, when he fielded a ball out in the outfield.
Where's Manny?
And he was throwing to the cutoff man. But before he threw to the cutoff man, Manny Ramirez is like, no, this guy can't throw for shit. He cut him off.
We need a
Threw
double
it to
cut
the
off.
cutoff man. He needs a double cut. Oh, man.
Manny Ramirez was great.
You know the worst
I'm
part about that
back.
too is I think the it was a ball off the Green Monster, so it was a short porch and left.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he like dove for it too. He's like, this is gonna. I'm not having this 10 hop to the cutoff, man. Screw this. But I will
Pulling
say,
it up.
just like the NBA is the champion coming out of the East, you have 5 teams with over 100 points right now, and 2 teams with 100 points. God damn it, the LA Kings and the freaking Golden Knights. God damn it.
Yeah, dude.
BGK.
Boston.
I really,
is looking
besides the
so
Lakers, maybe, I don't
nasty.
think I hate many teams from the Western Conference in the NBA. There's like 4 teams in the Western Conference in hockey that I hate just because the Sharks were so good for so long and they always either beat them or lost to them. Just great series overall against these teams. But I hate the Golden Knights. Sorry for these fans. I hate
expansion team,
the
bro.
LA Kings. Not a fan of the Dallas Stars, and I'd probably say throw in freaking Anaheim, easily.
Worst team in hockey, baby. But no, I think, dude, for Vegas to still be maintaining this expansion team magic, like, dude, it pisses me off, bro. Because it's like, what the fuck are they doing right? They didn't.
Right.
They had an expansion draft. God damn it, they're good.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. But yeah, so the Dallas Stars are up there in the first place in the Central, VGK up there in the Pacific Division, and then you have the Carolina Hurricanes up there at first place in the Metropolitan, and of course the Atlantic Division, the Boston Bruins. So obviously, with these playoffs, we'll probably touch a little bit every single week. It won't be a once a month kind of thing, but yeah. So,
Look at them.
oh, what's Mark doing now? What?
Mark-
What?
I'm watching the cutoff throw.
Oh, you're watching it?
Oh, bro, you can't make it up, bro. You can't make it up.
So-
It's Manny being Manny.
It's the best,
Oh,
dude.
bro.
I can go.
Dude, it might be legendarily one of the best defensive plays in MLB history because it's on the short portion, the freaking big green monster.
Oh my
can't
god!
make
Right
that
when
up, bro.
Mark, just
typed it in on YouTube, Manny Ramirez cuts off.
off
Right when
Johnny
I spelled cuts, Johnny Damon.
there's also a good
God.
one where I think in between innings he goes into the door of the Green Monster and goes to the bathroom, and he comes out of the Green Monster out of left field, and he's just like fixing his pants, putting his belt back on. Oh, dude, it's just classic Manny, dude, classic.
Oh god! He hella hits the pitcher's mound when he throws.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was
bro.
it hella short?
You can't make it up,
Oh,
bro.
man.
It's the best.
Oh my god! I'm sorry.
Let's-
Okay, sorry. Back to hockey.
Hey, go
okay.
Boston. I mean, not that I'm rooting for them, but dude, I mean, it ain't coming out of San Jose. I'll tell you that
No.
much. Boston's gonna
Yeah.
go Boston probably go break the record, go win a championship.
And you
Record
got
to
Toronto
record
Maple
broken.
Leafs.
Only-
Is
They're
this
right
the
behind
year?
them. You're right.
Is this the
You're
year?
right.
Probably not, but is this the year?
The only thing coming out of San Jose.
What is coming out of San Jose?
Sabor.
No.
Sabor's not even there.
They had a controversy with the jerseys, all right, Sean. You didn't hear about that?
Oh, I mean, they all did, right? The guy with the from the Rays, I think last year, who didn't want to wear.
He started it. No,
Right.
that was this year, I think.
No,
wearing-
no, it was last
yes,
year because that was
it was last year. I
year's
remember
baseball
that.
season.
It was.
So, I know. So, anyways, let's go into I mean, that's it for the sport. So, like I said, we will be checking up on the NBA and NHL playoffs going forth, and obviously it's a 2-month-long thing. So it's from now until the middle of June that we get these playoffs, 4 7-game series per sport. So stay tuned for that.
Does your Kraken have a chance, Mike?
The Kraken, I think they're eliminated, or they're
eliminated, I think, or right.
Are they?
Let me see. Yeah, my
92 points. Yeah,
They're
they're
not-
fourth. They're fourth in the Pacific.
they're not eliminated just yet, but let's
they're
see. Oh, wait,
fairly
hold on.
close.
I can actually
They're
look up.
unofficially, officially eliminated. Not technically, but things didn't magically happen for
Let's
them.
see. They are 4 points out of the wild card spot. Oh no, they're in the wild card. They're in
Are
the
they?
wild card. Yeah, because you have the Stars, Wild, and Avalanche coming out of the Central. Golden Knights, Kings, and Oilers coming out of the
Oilers.
Pacific, and the 2 teams in the wild card are the Kraken and the Jets. The Winnipeg
Okay.
Jets. So, all right, and this is when we take a pause, everybody, because Sean's got to go pee-pee. So this will be edited out of the podcast as we transition from sports to...
Well, we can talk about something before we transition real quick if you want. I got a little topic for you. WWE or WWE gets
and
sold
UFC, yeah, that's right.
to Endeavor. So the same company that gave Mr. Dana White his billions is the same company that's going to give Mr. McMahon his billions. And I don't know, maybe we can wait for even Sean to come back and ask him what his thoughts are on it. But you think this has any implications on both sports going forward? You know, obviously WWE being a little more entertainment based. Sean, you're back. We were just talking about real quick about just before we get into the books and the entertainment
sir.
side of this lovely podcast, which is the comic bookies. We were just talking about WWE getting sold to Endeavor, and my thoughts and my question to you guys were pretty much, does it change any of the landscape of either sport going forward? With WWE being more entertainment based, obviously UFC
They're
is
purely
as well,
entertainment based. If you have script writers, it's entertainment based. The idea that you're even trying to make gambling a possibility, like, let me guess if the writer's gonna have Roman Reigns win or not, like, that's stupid.
I mean,
That's how the Oscars go. You're telling me people don't know the Academy Awards already?
But that's what I'm saying, though.
Winners know
Even
it.
that's stupid. Like, that's stupid. Anything that there's actually like a voting that we know the already winner already is dumb. It's not a live action
right.
event. It's dumb. It's dumb.
I think that has huge marketing and huge sponsorship opportunities,
That's what it
right?
is.
Because like they might share sponsors, or like during UFC events, and then vice versa for WWE events, they'll promote the hell out of the opposite sport, right? So
Of course.
I mean,
It's going to actually help, I think, UFC a lot more than WWE. Like, WWE is a stalemate. Like, at the end of the day, they aren't going nowhere.
But they bring in money.
Oh, they do, bro. Oh, no,
It's-
WWE brings in money. The WrestleMania
As a
is
business?
a 2-day event.
As a
2-day event at
business?
SoFi, bro.
yeah, it's been a 2-day event for years now. It's
Yes, bro. It's a money dog,
You're
bro.
gonna have you're gonna have a handful of UFC fighters making special guest appearances on a Monday Night Raw, and then vice versa. You're gonna have some of these guys who maybe just say like a Brock Lesnar, who's like a collegiate wrestler. You know, guys who are in WWE who may want to dip their toes into an actual UFC fight. So
But WWE is great though. We loved it when we were young. Now you see guys.
I've never
size
hated it.
like,
Yeah.
Now you see guys like Kittle having fun over there. You know
That
what
was
I mean?
funny.
It's great, dude.
Freaking
It's
Pat
just- it's
McAfee always fighting. He's like
makes
he's like
everyone
2-0 in
feel,
WrestleMania fights. Pat McAfee. It's hella funny.
He's a
Right.
legend, bro.
He's the next
You
Undertaker.
know, our boy Mr. Casey Pratt's loving it too, right? That guy's
Exactly.
he was
Casey Pratt.
huge. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's a good guy right there.
So as we transition into the books and the entertainment side of the podcast, like Mark mentioned, we are the Comic Bookies podcast. We are live here on YouTube, and also tomorrow on the 4th of April, we will be available to listen to on all platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your Google Podcasts. I know it was called Google Podcasts, but I think they changed their name, but Amazon Prime Music, iHeartRadio, the radio.com app, wherever you find your podcast, please listen to us. We are brought to you by Treasure Island Comics in Fremont, California. Go get those freaking books. Okay, going into the comics, fellas, let's preview this week's books and get into what we read over the last 2 weeks. So coming out this week from the DC side, Batman 134, Poison Ivy 11, Batman and Joker the Deadly Duo finish off their series with number 6, The Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing number 7, and the end of the 1 Minute War, The Flash 796. Over on the Marvel side, Amazing Spider-Man 23, Venom 18, Wolverine 32, Spider-Man 7, and Ghost Rider 13. Image gives us Saga 63, Kingspawn 21. My book Stillwater ends this week with number 18, and Almighty number 3. Dynamite. There's a new Disney villain series coming out, and they're starting it out with Scar. So that story starts. Ablaze gives us Traveling to Mars number 5. And speaking of WWE, from Scout Comics, Codename Ric Flair number 1 comes out this week. So we got a Ric Flair story. Woo! Yeah, that's pretty cool. Sean, let's start with you, man. So plenty of books that we read over the last couple weeks. Start off with either something you want to really dig deep into or just something that you liked.
Well, what I do look forward to is Deadly Duo, just because I'm looking very forward to this next next issue, based on what the previous issue ended.
Right.
I actually had a Punisher book, which I read, which I liked it, actually, because of what the last page provided. Honestly, the whole book was the same crap of him being the judge and the jury, literally having a list of names of people that are just doing bad things, committing crimes, and he's just going and just chopping their heads off, torturing them, ultimately killing them. But while he gets to the end of his so-called list, I think I'm done now, a certain group of people says you're not done, and we're going to actually take you in for all the things that you've done. And it's the Avengers, actually. Captain America, Black Widow, I believe Iron Man is there. So just the fact that we're going to have a little bit of the Avengers interaction in it, I'm actually very excited, because the book was just kind of getting to just consistent. He's going around just killing people, like just no names, literally, like no dialogue with these characters. Just this guy was a rapist, this guy was a money launderer, whatever it may be. So I don't know. It kind of needed a little spark, a little spunk to it. So that was really, really good. I know we're going to talk about, obviously, the Ra's al Ghul. Very excited for that. We're going to be talking about some Flash here shortly. Very excited for that. What else did I read? I'm going to need like 2 quick seconds because I don't have my books in front of me, but I know there was one other one I wanted to talk about. Doctor Strange. I did read that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure, did you guys know?
I did read that one. I actually just had it open to kind of, it was pretty cool. It was actually...
It was pretty cool, right?
It was pretty good. It was one of those ones where I'm like, shit, like I kind of want to pull it, at least for the first arc.
Yes.
So like, because it starts out with, obviously Doctor Strange was killed or he died earlier in continuity.
Is that by McKay?
Yes, Jed McKay.
Yes,
okay, that's why I didn't get it. I was about to get it.
Why don't you, did he curse you?
He was on my Black Cat, and I think he was on Moonlight. Not Moonlight. What the hell's his name?
Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Yeah, Moon Knight. He's on Moon Knight, right? Is he still on Moon Knight?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I dropped it.
Okay,
Same dude.
That's what
Same dude.
Exactly. So you'll end up dropping this one too, I bet you.
God.
What's so far so good though? I mean, again, I think what Mike just said, it's worth the first arc because it actually starts off pretty good, and
that's how McKay books pull you in. That's how I got sucked into the Black Cat, and that's how I got sucked into Moon Knight.
Right. So Doctor Strange is alive, and his new wife Clea or whatever,
she got that attitude.
She has taken up the mantle of the Sorcerer Supreme, so they're kind of in the Sanctum Sanctorum together as a married couple, and it's cool because he's kind of taken it up himself as he helps people like with his Doctor Strange thing, but he also helps people like in a more of like a therapist
the right way.
type of way, right? Like, but it's pretty cool. Like in the first 15 pages, he sees Peter Parker, he sees Luke Cage, and it's actually
Daredevil.
cool. Yeah, he sees Daredevil, he sees Black Cat, Doctor Doom. There's a bunch of like little cameos of people who he helps out in the beginning of the story. So pretty much the story kind of takes a turn where they try to help this group of people from being enslaved, and the guy who's going to enslave them, I forgot what his name is, but anyways, they come to an agreement that they're going to take them and give them, sanitarium, that they're going to take them and they're going to take them in so they won't be enslaved. The guy's like, all right, well, it's pretty much war, right? And then but they agreed that because Clea, the wife, wants to kill him.
She wants
to kill him, and at the very end, you do see that she killed him. The very last page is his head was not attached to his body, so there's some hell to pay from that group of people, and it's a cool little side story at the end. Wong from the Doctor Strange movies, he makes an appearance in like the side story at the end. So I think it's probably worth it to maybe pull it maybe for the first arc, and then we'll see.
Agreed. Yeah, I definitely, it's funny because I read that, and then the book I followed up with reading was another one of those books is like, in the nicest way, could we just end it already? It was Undiscovered Country.
Yep.
Could we just end it already? Dude, this thing is...
Thank you.
I would agree, brother.
My Lord.
I would agree.
It's just like, I'm actually getting lost. I'm reading text. I was having another day of Miss Wilcox's class. I'm reading a bunch of things, not knowing what the hell I'm reading.
Right. I mean,
yes.
I will say this now, if you're still paying attention to this podcast and you haven't gotten Undiscovered Country, please get the trade. Get the hardcover, get the trade, and read it all at once, because this story it's 24 issues, so if it's once a month, that's 2 years, but it spanned over a course of 3 to 3.5 years, I want to say.
Dude.
It's been going on for a long time, yes.
It's
Right,
pretty
so,
bad, bro. It's pretty bad. This one, my head was spinning. I was like, I ain't got time to read this.
But
But it didn't end though, right?
Chang.
But it didn't end.
It didn't end.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
It didn't end. It's just an arc.
We're still walking the spiral.
Yeah, the next arc is like Sanctuary or something like that, or I forgot what the hell it's called. It actually said it or something at the very end. I was like,
But did it even give us a date for when the next issue's coming out?
Nada.
Yeah, so it's kind of like what Jeff Johns and Gary Frank did to us with Geiger, but at least with Geiger they have like Junkyard Joe kind of in between to keep us like in the universe, right? To keep us like, okay, cool, I can't wait till Geiger comes out because this guy Junkyard Joe within this universe is really cool.
Hella dope.
So this is not the Tom Taylor story that I want to get into later, but Tom Taylor did write Deceased, War of the Undead Gods, the penultimate issue of this one. Just the off continuity, just like how we're going to get into Swamp Thing Green Hell, something that's not in continuity. People die, people get infected by this, by this disease, and they're pretty much becoming zombies. Like, oh my god, like Alfred becoming the freaking Sentinel. Not Sentinel. What the hell's his name? Spectre. So I think it's a really good book. I mean, I've been following this. This is the third or fourth different series from Tom Taylor in the Deceased world. Great story.
It's not the only Tom Taylor book we're going to talk about.
That's what I know. I just said that. So Miles Morales, Spider-Man #4. This one's going pretty good. It's pretty good. I will say, if depending on how the 6th issue or whatever this arc ends, I may or may not drop it, but not because it sucks. It's just because I kind of want to. I'd rather pick up something else, right? Like I'd rather pick up the first 6 issues of Doctor Strange, and then I can also drop this at the same time. But if something were to happen where it would pique my interest over the next 2 issues, then so be it. Mark, you want to talk about any couple books so far?
Speaking of being over, Berserker finally ended. Got this extra.
Oh.
It was like a little bit.
That's dope.
It was a little bit oversized issue. It ended pretty good, as
oversized. So it has about 50 words in it, or
yeah. There is a lot of pictures as well. But Matt Kent, Keanu Reeves, obviously with his movie out at the same time, so he gets Mr. Wick 4 and Berserker here at the same time. And, he ends up having like kids at the end. Obviously, he was like immortal the whole time. He ends up being, he ends up like actually dying, having kids. And just the kids just get like crazy as hell. Pretty much end up being like the same type of person he is, just ravishing through like how he was just like ravishing through towns and just taking names and kicking asses and just this immortal ass like god kind of, right? But that was like being like investigated and all this shit. But dude, it was all right. I kind of like how it ended with him having like some kinfolk and being able to like pass his powers, I guess. But I don't think it's gonna have a second one. I mean, at the end he does look like he comes back to life in a different like realm years away.
Right.
So who knows? It could be like ongoing with a number 2, but I don't know. It was all right. I kind of just stuck with it. Thought it would have kept getting better, but it at least ended on a decent note. So that was cool.
Right. It's 2 more. Noctera from Scott Snyder. It's always an entertaining book. This was issue number 12. Also, it kind of takes a long, break in between arcs, but, I thoroughly enjoy that one. I will say that I hope this is a short story, because if it becomes an ongoing, James Tynion, he's given me a stinker so far. This blue book from Dark Horse, it's just not really doing it for me. It's kind of the paranormal activity, people getting abducted by aliens back in, I think, the 60s or 70s. Yeah. And so it's just okay, right? Government conspiracies left and right and stuff. This couple gets abducted, or they lose 2 hours of their day driving home, and they're like, what happened? And certain things, how they see like little footprints or like little spots on their car, and then they put their compass on it, and then the compass starts going haywire, starts spinning like shit, and then they take it off, and then it's back to normal. So kind of weird things like that. Tynion's always into the horror aspect, but yeah, it's all right. What else you guys got?
Batman Incorporated, man.
Ooh.
By Ed Brisson. This has been, I keep saying it's been one of my favorite books, and then this time now with this new arc here, we got introduced to Professor Pig. I text you about it, Mike, but it's really, really good, dude. I love seeing just the Professor Pig, the damn mask with the damn pig, and he's got the Riddler locked up. He's got pretty much, he got some stuff stolen from him, like a case, and he wants it back, and he's locking up all of the villains in Gotham, which some think it's a good thing because he's rounding them up for Mr. Ghostmaker and the boys. But pretty much, who does he got? Killer Croc. He's got Enigma. He's got who else right here? Mr. Freeze and a bunch of other villains, right? But pretty much some little kids end up getting paid, and they're trying to open up this safe, and it ends up, the kids thought it was money. It ends up being like this crazy like mask, like pig looking mask, but I guess it's like one of his other suits or something. I don't know. We don't know what it is yet, but kind of ended, and I kind of excited that I'm gonna get a whole arc with this Professor Pig, because I don't really get too much of him, especially with all the DC that I read. But I'm gonna be excited to read about him. We obviously got Clown Hunter still hating Ghostmaker. We got people, the whole Batman Inc. is crazy. We got people against each other. We got Clown Hunter kind of wanting to go on his own and saying he actually said no to Ghostmaker in this issue. It's pretty badass. So one of my favorite books going, Batman Incorporated. I can't believe, I wish you guys would have got on it.
One story that I got from Mark Waid, I thought that I was going to drop it. That's after the first 12 issues. That's Batman, Superman, World's Finest. But then they come and hit me with the first issue of a new arc. I'm like, God damn it. So Mr. Simon Stagg, he's kind of a ongoing kind of businessman villain in all kinds of DC stories. He gets murdered, and they're, of course, doing their investigative work, Batman being the detective that he is, and Superman being the investigative reporter that he is for the Daily Planet. So Simon Stagg, his bodyguard was Metamorpho. I don't know if you know who Metamorpho looks like, but this guy right there, I'm sure you've seen him in other stories before, right? He's pretty much made of different elements from an accident and can turn himself into anything he wants. So due to the injuries or due to what happens to Simon Stagg and the connection to him, to Metamorpho, they think he might have done it, right? And so they do a bunch of investigative work. Clark actually employs Jimmy Olsen, to kind of headway the investigation. And of all the investigative work in the last couple pages, the very last page is a news story that says that Bruce Wayne has been arrested for the murder of Simon Stagg. So I'm like, whoa. Because Clark was like, no, you can't report this. Like, he didn't do it. Like, I just, and then, of course, Perry White's like, how do you know he didn't do it? Like, what are you not telling me? And he goes, nothing. Like, he can't obviously reveal that I know who Bruce Wayne is. Why do you know who Bruce Wayne is? Right? So, of course, you suck me back in.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Sean.
Simon Stagg.
Yeah, Sean, where are you at with Damn Them All?
Oh, damn. I'm a little behind.
Damn that.
Damn them all, dog. Damn.
But remember, those first 2 issues were like, what am I reading? But it becomes so much easier to read as they go along.
But I am collecting them all. I will say that I am
Right.
collecting all of them. Just know I will catch up at some point in my collecting. Give you
Like,
that.
it's super, like, it's something that we've never read before, with all these coins and all these gods that they're taking control of, and they're basically fighting a war with these gods. It's pretty freaking cool. This specific issue, they bring back the uncle who was murdered.
It's like 6, right? Number 6.
This was number 6, yes.
5, 6.
So this one, they bring him back in like a excuse me, like a spirit form, kind of like they bring him back from the dead to talk to him, right? And it's just a good book. I mean, I'm thoroughly excited that this Simon Spurrier book was transitioned into an ongoing story and not just a short story. So it's a good one.
Trippy, huh?
Yeah. It's a really cool book.
That's that Spurrier shit right there, my
Steve
boy.
Spurrier.
Right? Yeah. I mean, besides the ones that I know that we're going to get into and kind of dive deep into, the first of 3 issues, the Lazarus Planet, I believe this is the last kind of short story that they're going to have, but Revenge of the Gods, this is the only one that's a limited series and not just a one-shot, but this one's pretty good.
Lazarus.
Yep.
So let's get into, I don't know if all 3 of us are getting it, but I know, Mark, you got Superman.
Flash. Oh, Superman.
So, yeah, you guys can do your Superman.
Superman number
We'll get
2.
our
So
What do you think, my boy?
Parasite, man, this is just...
It's all over the place.
Like a side
Can't get rid of it.
Like a side of Parasite that we've never seen before. Like, we've seen Parasite actually in like a live action TV show, and he just gets bigger with all the energy that he consumes, right? But they juiced him up, man. They kind of upgraded him.
Who juiced Lex juiced him up,
Right.
huh?
And then he's not only juiced, he's multiplying. It's not getting necessarily bigger, but he's multiplying. And they kind of, it sucks because they kind of figure out that what's infecting everybody right now, like Lois is infected, everyone at the Daily Planet is infected.
That's
And it's
right.
like in the air, so like Clark Kent looks like he's actually becoming infected in that last page. It's pretty wild.
That was scary because he goes to save Lois, right? And
Right.
then it's obviously you see her in the dark, and it's like she comes out with all the crazy claws and just parasited up. So that was pretty wild. What do you think about the character that we've seen in the middle? What was that about, though?
Right. It's kind of that's I believe that's her reveal, right? I believe we now
Marilyn
have
Moonlight.
Marilyn Moonlight. I think Sean. I think we have a first appearance alert. And it's pretty cool. Like Marilyn, but then the Flash goes, and then boom, he sees like an image of like the Wild West, right? It's like it takes her like a flashback. It was super weird. So obviously we're going to get more of Marilyn Moonlight and who she is as a
that's
character
right.
and like what her powers are and everything. But
Is
Yeah.
that
New character?
Metropolis back in the day? Probably. Like I sent you.
it might
right?
be. It might be. But yeah, so Kara
And then go ahead.
I was just say Kara and John, they make that huge ice wall, but then at the very end, that ain't doing shit with Parasite.
They ain't
He's
doing
getting through it.
shit. And Lex is getting pissed because he's trying to manipulate Superman to come over and let him out of the pen, right?
Right.
Superman's not falling for it, and he's getting all pissed. He's trying to, communicating with him. Obviously, he knows that Superman can hear when he's talking basically to himself in jail. So
So obviously, what's going to happen in issue number 3? Lex will be out of jail.
he's gonna have to because his parasite problem is getting so big,
Right.
and he's gonna say he's the only way that can fix it, right?
Exactly.
The next is called Hunger of the Super Parasite. pretty good so far for Williamson. You know,
Yeah.
decent book.
Yeah.
Dawn of DC. So we'll see.
Speaking of Williamson, former writer of The
Writer.
Flash. But we
That's
have
right.
part 6.
Flash, baby.
Part 6
Uh-huh.
of 1 Minute War, the penultimate issue of this arc.
And I'm definitely excited for this one to end pretty soon here too. It's been all right. I like a lot of.
I like it. It's
You like
a little
it?
bit of a battle.
It's got
I
a
kinda like it.
It's got a Superman Action Comics feel because these guys are from somewhere else, right? Because usually the Flash, he's dealing with a bunch of rogues, or he's doing stuff that also involves the rest of the Justice League. But this is like by himself, and it seems like they're aliens pretty much. And I've
They
never
are.
really seen Barry Allen deal with aliens, right?
It's been pretty good so far. This group, I mean, I like they're on top of the building and they're trying to actually add speed to
Right.
the Speed Force, right?
Right. And then just them working as a family, right?
Yeah, that's
With-
the dope ass.
With no Wally West available, right? So
The faction.
the faction.
Well, he ends up at like Flash Fantasy or Flash World or something like that.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Wally
Yeah.
ends up, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I'm actually with you on it. I'm actually liking it, but I'm curious. I'm like, how are you going to kind of beat these guys, though? They're pretty damn strong.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't think it should have gone because I think that's going to be the 7th issue of the arc. I don't think it needed to go 7. Like, it could have ended right here, right? So, so obviously with Wally being in Planet Flash, so yeah. So we'll see.
We'll see, sir.
Yeah. All right. What are we going to get into first? I think, Mark, you going to get into the
Swamp Thing.
Huh? Okay. Well, so you want to get into the top 5 book of the year,
Mike
Really?
loved it.
dude? Oh man.
Why? So Lemire made himself up
And it's not even Lemire, it's Doug Mankey's, his artwork.
What?
All 3 issues were just amazing.
Man, you're right though. This one was freaking crazy, Mike. Let him have it, dude.
I mean, you got you have Constantine, Dead Man. They go and take a visit to pretty much the queen of not the Rot, but the
Animal.
Red, right? The animal woman,
Red.
right? To try to get her help. She doesn't help at first, but obviously just like an epic,
daughter.
yeah, just an epic movie or whatever. Just when you think that Swamp Thing is dead, here comes Animal Woman with all of her different animals that she controls and turns the tide of the battle. But like just
Fighting the Green.
yeah, fighting the green, but just look at the freaking cover. Just like the cover itself is just badass, dude.
Dude. Tell us
like-
about Constantine, bro.
Constantine pretty much sacrifices himself, right?
Oh my, dude! He's like talking to the devil. That shit was
I know.
fucking crazy,
I know.
dude.
I'm telling you.
And then
I'm telling
he's
you, like,
like, "Oh,
they know what they're doing with these Black Label books.
Dude, that shit was wild,
wild.
bro.
Like
That was one of the craziest books. I was like, dude, he's like, the devil's all up in his face, and he is like making the deal with him, and he's like, if I come back, or that if it doesn't work, you can have me.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm gonna have you anyway, and dude, that shit was freaking wild. And then Dead Man's right there, and he's like fainting away, and he's like trying to take like a swig of some shit. He's trying to smoke the cigarette, right? He's like, light the shit up for me, you bastard, and just like, I'm like, dude, this shit's fucking wild.
I don't
dude.
think I've missed a single 3-issue prestige style Black Label book. They're all good. There's a level of greatness with those books, right? Like the Constantine story by itself, or like the Superman versus Lobo, kind of on the lower side of the stories, but they're all worth getting, I think. If people are out there listening right now for these Black Label books, like from it, go to the past, get these trades of these, because there's just 3 issues. But as far as bang for your buck, you're paying $5 for these Flash books. $4 for most of these books. This one is like 7 or 8, but it's so worth it. There's twice as many pages, which you're thinking, duh, Mike, you're paying twice as much money, you're getting twice as much pages, duh. But the amount of dialogue, the amount of writing, the amount of time it takes you, it just feels so much more worth it. And because it's Black Label, they can go a little bit more PG-13 to rated R, like with the violence and the content and this, the cursing and
way
whatnot.
more rated R. Did you you see Mankey's art, dude?
Right.
I mean, geez, gory.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it can go there, right? So for more of the adult aspect,
It did go there.
where it's like, oh hey, sir, stop doing that. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man's gonna get you. No. It goes a lot more with these DC Black Label books. Thoroughly enjoyed that one.
And then the daughter with Alec, the daughter, and
right.
dude, it was just had, because you had his daughter, and then you had the protagonist, the guy that's with the land, and his daughter.
Right.
Obviously, she didn't have the mom, so it was like you got these two father figures with their daughters. Obviously, Alec had his wife, whatever, but. It's just it was a great story, man. It was it was crazy in itself, but definitely entertaining, man.
Right, and then they pretty much take out the leaders of the Green, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Go
well,
ahead.
the main thing for me is it made me miss the Swamp Thing. I think I said it a couple weeks ago. It made me miss the Swamp Thing show.
The show.
Yeah. Maybe
they canceled it,
they
right? Like after 11 episodes.
Well,
or
they
something?
canceled. They finished the first season, but they canceled it because someone in accounting made a boo boo, and they had X amount of $1 million less than they thought they did. So
that was even before
Batman: One Bad Day, the 8th and final issue of this series.
Yes, sir.
And none of them disappointed. It's kind of hard to put to make a top 8, right? To kind of rank them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, I think Clayface was still probably my number 1.
You like that one a lot,
I still
didn't
probably
you?
think Clayface is number 1, and this is up there though. This is a really.
This one is really good.
This is really good because, of course, there's can never go wrong with a little bit of Batman and Robin in it. Come on.
You just I think the dynamics of having Ra's al Ghul being grandpa to this Robin, basically father-in-law to this Batman, and yeah, I think the dynamics of it is like a whole family affair, basically. Then the whole, I'm going to kill you knowing we have the Lazarus Pit, Batman. And then Ra's al Ghul dies knowing we have the Lazarus Pit for you, too. So, yeah, it is pretty badass.
But every time he comes back from the Lazarus Pit, it's like, right? They're like shaking up.
I mean, Sean knows from the Arrow show. Every time you get put in the Lazarus Pit, you might be coming out a different person.
You come back an angry person, yeah.
Right. But I mean, and as you're reading some of these stories, it kind of makes you feel sorry for those characters, right? Like when you see what the
100%.
like the state of Clayface at the end of that issue, it's like, oh, I kind of feel bad for him. And then right here with Ra's al Ghul, yes, he's killing people, but he's killing people for the good of the world, right? Like he's trying to do good.
The message,
right?
So Batman isn't trying to actually stop him from what you're doing, it's how you're doing it.
It's very black and white with Batman. Don't kill anybody.
Don't kill nobody, even if it's for the good. Because
I would let the world explode, and I'm going to figure it out my own way. I just can't let you kill anybody. And he's like, you're so blind to the mean, his means do justify an end.
But killing people isn't also this. That's a good way to describe it. Because I was reading, I was like, oh my god, they're both wrong and they're both right. This is a tough one, man.
Because at the end of the day, Ra's al Ghul is the villain. So how is Batman supposed to believe Ra's al Ghul when he says, "Oh, we have people in place who are going to make the change for positive"? How can you believe that, right? So,
when he says Talia at the very end, is our plan is still in place? That's when I'm like, this motherfucker, man.
Right, exactly. But no, just an overall good story. Go ahead, Mark.
I mean, that was crazy when Robin had to see his dad die, right?
Damn, just a freaking sword through the gut. That sucks,
dude. Right. But that's pretty. The big picture of that is badass. Like, I am done with you, Bruce. You're pissing me off already.
And of course, Ra's al Ghul would never put a finger or at least hurt his grandson, Damien.
And that was cool with his his story. They left him for dead, and then the wolf came along and saved him, and he returned that favor with that little wolf that was in the cage, and then he killed the dude that had him in the cage, and then he took him for years, for 20 years, and then the passing away, and that really affected him, and just it was a pretty good story, man.
It was really good. Yeah. These are deep into each character got deep into it, bro. No, it was badass. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was
and you had a star-studded group of writers too. It's really, really
Very
good.
much, sure.
No, we did. Tom Taylor, Tom King.
Yep.
Remind me before we go to the next topic of today's fun podcast. I do have one bit of it is news, but it's comic related, so I would actually love to incorporate it right here if it's okay. Oh, it's okay to say it right now.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Well,
I mean, are we
while
done talking about the book?
I mean, yeah, I'm good. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
Well, it's just while we are talking about the Raja Ghul, and then Mike
Oh.
snuck in, loving that there is a Batman included in it. I'm actually seeing some Batman news, which, I mean, of course, would catch Mike's attention that in September, just announced at the MegaCon Orlando, Mark's favorite, Josh Williamson, will be coming out with a new series, a new Batman and Robin series.
So like a book, right?
It's going to be a new comic.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
That's because he'll be off Superman by then.
A new Batman and Robin #1 will be released in September from Josh Williamson.
All right.
And then it's going to be the artist Simeon DeMeo from Batman and Robin
The current
and Lazarus Planet. Yep. And I'm not seeing any additional details, but just I always fall upon, I think it's like 2 episodes in a row, I fall upon this random news while we're talking comics that almost feels like I need to bring it up.
So that book may or may not be in this month's previews then. Because usually, like, the day that those previews come out is the day that they announce those new books and whatnot. Like, oh, on Twitter, hey, you guys just heard the news. I have a new, Lobo series or whatever coming out in July. So that book is probably either in this month's previews or he was allowed to talk about it at this con, and it's going to be in next month's previews. So I will say, to finish the comic book section, I do have the first appearance of Damian Wayne.
There he is, right?
It's it's a big story. It's called like Son of the Dragon or something like that. And it's the story of how Batman and Talia get together and they make Damian.
Well, that's pretty easy how they make him. I mean,
Yeah, I think I learned about that in school, if I'm not mistaken.
What?
think so.
How long ago was it?
I don't know how long Bruce lasts, but I mean,
Son of the Demon,
it might have only taken
1987.
them one time. I
Dang.
actually don't know how many times they did do that, Mark, but all it takes is once, as we all know.
Son of the Demon, 1987 is Damian Wayne, Batman number 655.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
It's like 1987. You got it.
Yep, it's
There
a
it
good year
is.
right there. 1987, it's a good year.
legendary.
2/3
bro.
of this podcast was born in 1987.
Oh God, who there, man? October 20th.
And the
March
very, very good
1st.
Motley Crue album, Girls,
May
Girls,
1st.
Girls. So,
Girls.
girls, girls, girls.
What song was it that you were born, Mike? Is that what it is?
No. The song, the number one, the number one song,
Your mom, Mike's mom knows this.
the number one song in America, the day I was born, May 1st, 1987, was Cutting Cruise, I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight.
All
I
right,
just
I'm gonna
died in
take
your
2
arms
seconds.
tonight.
Straight out of freaking
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto.
Great.
Number
Great.
one
my sister's
song.
August 20th,
and-
1996. The number one song in America that day was the Macarena.
But I Macarena.
The number one song. Oh wow, the number one song in America
19
on October 20th, 1987 was "Bad." from
Michael Jackson. Oh, nice.
Okay, pretty
Yeah,
good.
he was bad.
Check mine.
Jesus, there it is. Mark, you are October 22nd, 1984.
Four. It's probably
Four.
Thriller or Prince.
84?
84.
Yeah, or Foreigner or something.
Foreigner.
No, I just called to say I love you.
Oh,
I just
By
called
by
to
Stevie
say
Stevie
Wonder.
Wonder. Yeah, Stevie Wonder.
I love you.
Oh, that song's hella good too. I like that one too. That's good. Damn.
To say.
To say I
How
love
much
you.
I care.
All right. So obviously I'm the best, but moving on. Because
Nice.
because Stevie
nice.
Wonder. Never mind. Never mind.
And we all got some goodies though, right
Never
there. We
mind.
all got some.
Because I was gonna say Sean's is a child molester, and then at least my guys can see. But anyways,
look at it. You are just so bad.
hey, but front of the line
Man.
opportunities for Disneyland for Stevie. So speaking of. Oh, I saw this cool. Speaking of, this is a new story that's coming out right now, having to involve Harry Potter. But one of the funniest memes ever was that they had the cover of the Chamber of Secrets movie, where it had like Ron, Hermione, Dobby, and Harry in there, and they photoshopped Michael Jackson's face on all the characters, and it was Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Oh God. Well, it's funny you bring up Harry Potter because I'm following this new thing on Instagram. I forgot which one it was, but HBO is in the works of coming out with a new Harry Potter series.
Wow, Sean, just go ahead and take it away. Take away the fucking news story.
Oh man.
Okay, so
Harry
let's
Potter's
just
TV
edit that
series is in
out.
talks to HBO Max and Warner Brothers. That's yeah.
There it
There
is.
But no, actually, hey, that's good news for me. Like anything in the Harry Potter world of Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings and stuff, sometimes it can get a little bit too much, but we haven't really seen, besides the Fantastic Beasts movie, we really haven't seen much else in the Harry Potter universe. So that's pretty cool.
So I feel in all of this, we just segued right into our news, guys. That first bit of news is that Harry Potter news, and a little additional news is that Doctor Doom will be in the new Fantastic Four, but will not be the main villain.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay. That's actually pretty cool.
Not sure who's going to be the main villain, but I just see how they snuck that in today, so that was pretty cool to see.
Do we know how big of a part he'll consume?
I mean, it's just, I think there's like the first bit of news they brought in.
It'll be interesting to see like whether it's already an established Fantastic Four movie, right, where they've already fought Dr. Von Doom, you know, previously, to where he's just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, I know those guys, or they go to they're fighting the current villain and they go to him for some help or some advice, or if it's a super prequel movie and it's before he becomes Doctor Doom. Where it's,
that'd be pretty dope. That would be the best dynamic.
Where it's him and Reed Richards actually working together as scientists, right? So who knows? Let's see. You guys saw the 2 trailers that were just dropped today on Monday, April 3rd, 2023, Blue Beetle and Secret Invasion. Which one are you guys most excited to see?
I mean, Secret Invasion actually looks dope.
That's the one I'm most excited to see because that's the one I haven't seen yet.
No, I'm talking about the actual... Well, you know what? It's different because Blue Beetle is a movie and Secret Invasion is a show.
And that's why I think I look forward to both of them, because what you just said, they're 2 different things. One is a show, so it'll be an ongoing, probably another one of those little Marvel series. So hopefully they kind of hit a home run with it. Mr. Samuel L. Jackson could bring some of that, you know, Nick Fury spunk to that show, because, you know, it looks like it's going to be pretty good based on the trailer. And of course, Blue Beetle, man, that's, you know, the main character, one of them that's in Cobra Kai. I know Mike said I mentioned he hasn't watched it, but...
You've been dying to say that, haven't you?
I've had to, bro.
It's probably the 4th time he said it today.
You know what? It's the first time that the fans have heard me say it, so y'all just zip it. But no, it looks pretty cool because I actually like the dynamics of everyone actually knows he's a Blue Beetle. You always wonder, okay, is he one of those like behind-the-scenes superheroes, or is he someone that, okay, everyone, that's just who the hell he is? Yeah, right. It looks cool. I didn't know much about Blue Beetle until they started talking about making a movie about it. So no. It looks cool. Yeah. I'll watch it.
Jaime Reyes is the 2nd iteration of Blue Beetle, so he's actually been a character in the DC universe for a long, long time. Jaime Reyes is a fairly newer character. I think he was made somewhere at time in the 2000s, I think. So
cool.
No, but
I think
go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, for some reason, like, I think DC's kind of spot on for like casting who they casted, right? With George Lopez in there.
With his long hair, that's hella funny.
Cobra Kai. But I think it's going to attract people. I'm willing to prove right now that they'll make more money than Shazam.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh. That's the movie I was thinking about when we were talking about pre-production, because I kept thinking, for some reason, Ant-Man. I'm like, dude, there's a movie that just came out. I can't put my finger on it. We just talked about it in the last movie. Unfortunately, Shazam's numbers aren't replicating how good a movie is. People just might not know, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, I do have a little bit of like, I hope Blue Beetle does have, it does better than what I hope it's going to do, because I just don't know if people just don't know if people really know Blue Beetle is. But it looks like something pretty badass. Effects look really good. It looks like almost like a little like DC Iron Man per se kind of thing. You see him just blast through the building, go to the top. Like, that's dope, man.
And it's so cool. Like I like when he was changing, like into the Blue Beetle, the song that was hitting, like the hip hop song. I felt like I was watching like Into the Spider-Verse, like that type of music and that type of feel to it. Just kind of try to grab the young crowd. And for people who don't want to like, oh my God, I have to watch this, and then after I watch this, I have to watch that. we know that the upcoming movies like The Flash and Blue Beetle are not a part of James Gunn's DCU. So if you want to just go see a one-off movie that's going to just blow your socks off or whatever, and you're like, you know what, that was a great movie, then this should be your movie, right?
What's funny you bring that up, Michael, because while this movie is not a James Gunn in the the whole script was coming up, there was actually a little news today on Comic Book News that Blue Beetle will reportedly be joining James Gunn's DCU, but it may not be in this movie. It may be an introduction, but I don't know how to describe it based on like what I'm reading here, but he may reportedly be at some point in James Gunn's DCU.
Reportedly meaning depending on how the movie performs.
Basically.
Right.
How bad is this, though, just to touch on some numbers real quick, because we like numbers on this podcast, but this is pretty bad for Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah, not hearing good
things.
things.
Their total gross so far, I mean, because I told you, Blue Beetle's going to attract way more, and they have to, because they've only grossed $53 million so far.
That is
not good.
That is
to put it up against another movie that came out a week or so before it, a couple weeks before it, the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania, that a lot of people have had their speculations on, their comments and whatever displeasure on, but 212 million that one has gross. That's crazy.
It's just
Creed 3, 148 million.
Creed
John Wick,
good.
123 million for John Wick. Scream 6, 98 million, and you got Shazam, Fury of the Gods sitting at 53. One of the lowest on the board. It's ugly. It's ugly, man.
But I said this 2 weeks ago. It's blind Marvel fandom. It's like, oh my
and
God, there's a Marvel movie out. I have to automatically
Madness.
go watch it.
Go watch it.
I have to go watch the Ant-Man Quantumania. And then what happens opening weekend? It sucked. What did Alex at TI say? It sucked. But you know what? They all went to go see it either way, right?
It's like the damage. It's just that's where I think Mark best describes it. It's like it's blind numbers, but they are numbers, but it doesn't describe how good a movie is. And there's like the other side, which is like DC just hasn't been able to build that fan base. Basically,
people have been sucked
in the nicest way.
People have been sucked into this since 2008, since when Iron Man came out. DC has not built that. DC has not built that yet, and I don't even know
exactly.
And I don't even know if they. And I don't know if they will. I hope, and I'm predicting that the Flash and Blue Beetle will perform a lot better. Because
200 or something for a fucking movie that
you have to remember though, Marvel, they built what they were building in 2008 with Iron Man, and then Disney came and swooped them up. So they just like added fuel to the fire that was already growing by boasting it up with their revenue and with their marketing and everything that they could do for Marvel. So and obviously we've had news last week with Marvel basically firing Disney actually firing the head of Marvel over there, and now they're gonna mix Marvel into Disney and everything together because I don't think
the Israeli billionaire
Mr. Bobby Iger didn't really approve of one of the largest shareholders in for Disney and the guy that was running Marvel. So
So they get rid of the guy that's sort of in charge of the direction of the story. But they're not going to get rid of the people in charge of marketing or advertising, because they did the hell out of that thing, right? Like I think I said this last week or 2 weeks ago. I've seen more ads in my books for Shazam than I saw commercials. It's unbelievable.
Right.
It's
and now
unbelievable.
I don't see any. That the movie's out. I don't see commercials for it.
No.
That's actually the problem. Mike is hella right. I've seen almost every book was at least a Shazam page. I see zero commercials. At least like straight up, it's the marketing like Marvel. They market every Instagram. How many Instagrams are you going to see? Oh, Blue Beetle movie coming out, Shazam movie coming out, dude. If Avengers movie,
they
came out,
market good to children also. And that's where the Disney aspect
They have
came.
to do.
Who gave a damn about the Avengers? The kids didn't, not as much as us, right? Once Marvel took over, the kids are all about the Avengers now, man.
And they have to do something. They have to make a movie. They have to do something to suck people in, to justify saying, okay, I'm going to go to one movie this month. which one am I going to do? Am I going to do Shazam or am I going to do Ant-Man Quantumania? I'm going to go to Ant-Man Quantumania because I have to, because I've watched the other freaking 26 movies and watched the other 5 or 6 shows on Disney Plus. I'm already in there.
They've established it.
But then you also have people, like I was saying a couple weeks ago, that, they just, I don't want to go spend $15 just for myself. Like, I'm going to wait the 60 or 90 days until it comes out in Disney Plus or HBO Max. I'm already paying enough money as it is monthly for this, In the down economy, I would, release these movies 10 years ago in the peak of this whole Marvel universe, right? All these movies make more because more people are going. COVID killed it. COVID killed it. I'm going to say it. COVID killed the movie experience. 90% people who are going at least once a month go maybe twice a year now.
And the prices are even higher now. So good luck.
Oh, dude, they're hella expensive. You better go on a Tuesday. I mean, yes, we have cases, so of course that's probably the main reason. But straight up, bro, me and Marissa, that was like, if we have something we can like go do, that was a hot. Like, we love going to movies. Like, but it's hella expensive now, bro. And then what they made, this movie didn't do too good, so Black Panther will be on in 2 months. Oh, this didn't do too good, this movie's gonna be on in 1 month.
Right.
Like,
but I mean, like I said, Scream 6, Creed 3, John Wick Chapter 4, doing good. So it's not so much of a theater movie thing so much right now. It's just Shazam just ain't it.
But why?
It just
but why? Shazam's probably not a bad movie, but why?
It's just not it, my boy. Because they saw the first one. The first one wasn't what they thought it was going to be, or as good as they wanted it to be. So you're not going to see the second one.
People can't be pleased anymore. First Shazam was fine to me. I saw Shazam on the big screen for the first time. Would never be able to see that since he was Captain Marvel back in the 30s or 40s, before it was even a DC Comics. It was
it's just no one knows who it is, and they just don't market enough, and it's just true. This DC goes into like, I think Mike, it's true, bro. Like, you're Marvel, Ant-Man, I gotta watch that. I have to watch that. I've watched all the other stuff, and he was in freaking the Avengers. That guy, I gotta watch that. Like,
but what if same movie, Shazam, same movie, but released by Marvel? How much does it make?
$350 million.
Easy.
Wow.
Easily. If they fly it under a Marvel banner, 5 times the amount of money. Easily.
Marvel can shit the bed for the next 2 or 3 whatever universe. What do they call this little
phases?
Stage? What the hell is shit called? Phases. You'll call it whatever you want to call it, bro. Like, dude, they've done.
That's Disney's cash cow since they bought them.
Bro, forget it, bro. It's wild, bro.
I mean, what are you gonna do? Put a bunch of like DC characters at what, Magic Mountain? Like, what the fuck? Hey, welcome to Six Flags. Here's Bugs Bunny and Batman. Like, no, it's like they do it so well, and I commend them for that. Like with the Avengers campus and stuff, it's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go see Mickey Mouse, and I can see Lightning McQueen, and then I'm gonna go see Black Panther in the same day. Hell yeah!
Shit.
I get Marvel, Pixar, and Disney, bro. I'm sorry, bro.
They got the game on lock,
monopolizing that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, they even had ESPN Zone.
Do not pass go. Like, I like $200.
Do not pass go. Dude, I collect $200.
That's what they do.
Speaking of Ant-Man and Quantumania, and of course, see, this is the thing too.
Keep it going, Mike. Mike's
like when you're on Twitter and you're seeing like a Marvel versus DC kind of argument, this might as well be a Biden versus Trump thing. Like, Jesus Christ, these people are like so like, like, oh God.
Go, Mike. I love it.
Jonathan Majors, who plays Kang the Conqueror in.
Oh, dude, he was so good in Creed. I watched Creed number 3
really?
last night.
He was arrested, right?
Dude, he's dope.
Oh yeah, he was so dope.
Dude, some girl trying to ruin his freaking life though. I heard there's like text messages. The fool did nothing wrong.
So nothing wrong.
Oh, that guy.
So he was arrested for like strangulation.
So what did he actually get caught? Actually, did you have?
So he was arrested in New York City for like attempt. Allegedly, of course, it's always allegedly at first. Strangulation, harassment, and assault. So it's like, but you're saying that it didn't happen.
I heard this like text message. No. Again, hey, if he did it, I'm like, I make that perfectly clear too, so no one's hating. If he did it, hey, you give him the freaking ropes. Give him whatever in the hell you're gonna do.
To the
Freaking
fullest extent of the law.
100%, bro. But at the same time, I always had that like, let's just not go burn his career because Creed is what got him big time recently. That's the big movie that came out, #1 movie, whatever in the hell it was, the short stint it was on, and of course you had the Ant-Man that came out, King the Conqueror. Rumor is he's gonna be in all the upcoming Avengers, whoop-de-whoop. And then I guess there's like hella text messages right now and just like the girl like kind of opening up to ruin his career.
Okay.
But on the flip side, I'm like, hey, if you did it, bro,
They're trying
to
to
the
Andrew.
full extent
Right.
of the law.
She trying
That's
to
what I'm saying.
Andrew
I'm all
Tate.
about the
It's crickets.
timing.
It's crickets from the media for this guy. But Ezra Miller, he jaywalks, and it's like, oh my God, get this guy out of here.
But he didn't just jaywalk. Let's just be
I know,
clear about that one. And there's very clear cut of what
I
he
know.
did. That's the only 1%
No,
I'll have that, and I
that's-
won't make it a DC
But that's
Marvel thing.
what I mean.
There's Hawaiian cameras with all the footage on it.
Right? No, I know. He actually, yes.
But there's no doubt, if this guy did it, then yes, you put this guy to the freaking
We'll see
poster
what
boards
happens.
and you freaking make him
We'll
look
see what
bad.
happens after
I'm with you on that for sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
He says Sean's all for the public lashings. Okay, jeez.
Not public lashings, bro, but at the
Freaking
same
tar
time,
and
just the
feather his ass.
reality. But no. Just the idea of just like at the end of the day, like these kind of things. Like this guy, he freaking jaywalked. They'll slap his wrist and call him Billy. But if this guy goes and strangles somebody, a woman, freaking
Right.
Anything wrong, hell yeah, like you deserve to freaking face the law.
Right.
Your celebrity status shouldn't get you away with anything, bro. I don't give a damn what movies you had come out. You are still a human being. You gotta, judge and jury, bro.
We'll see. All right.
Mike is
You
installed.
guys got anything else?
Mike ain't sold at all.
I do.
Strangulation, manipulation, and reputation, with all. And Mike named off hella
Masturbation.
shit. Mike named off hella shit.
Masturbation, like whatever.
Manipulation,
Oh, so you gonna be an Ant-Man 4?
menstruation. What did he do? He did it all.
Menstruation. Well, nowadays shit might. Anyways, so I do have an announcement to make. It's been kind of a long time coming, but first of all, thank you so much to he's been on the show twice, but Mr. Victor Dandridge, I will announce that the 10 copies of Kindergardians are here, folks. If you're watching on YouTube right now, so they are here. And I would probably say that us three probably get a copy. And so coming up soon, this is not a late April Fool's joke. We are going to have another giveaway by the end of this month. I still haven't figured out how many of these Alex Ross covers I want to give away.
None.
None.
Speaking of the harasser.
Look at him.
There he is.
Look at him. Harasser.
Speaking of the strangulator.
Look at him.
Central Park strangulator.
Already has a name for
already.
him.
Already.
Mike's
Wow.
already making a Netflix
Wow.
doc. You want to know?
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
wow.
I sent all my content to Barstool.
Jesus.
I got you.
Little whippersnapper.
All right, but anyway, so I will announce the date of the, like you'll see it on Instagram or whatever, but we'll be giving away a couple copies of the Kindergardians. I have a couple of those Alex Ross covers, and then I think I have like 6 or 8 other number ones. So it's going to be our biggest giveaway yet, and of course we're just going to have to follow the same rules. But I think we're going to go ahead and put it across the platforms. We're going to say you get an entry for YouTube, you get an entry for a follow on Twitter and on Instagram. So just stay tuned, folks. But that's it for 182 for me, unless you guys got something else.
Wow.
If not, take us away.
It's 11:58. That's when the freaks come out. And this episode's been super, super fun with my brothers, man. Oh, man, it was good. Just vibing tonight, hanging out with you guys. Just coming off the national championship for the NCAA tournament. And obviously the women yesterday. Big kudos to LSU. I know we didn't mention them, but hey, you can't see me. Bust that ring. Hey, you know what? They did what they were supposed to do. But a fun episode. And what Mike said, man, happy anniversary to us. This is the one time we can have that one second of just us. Like, this is what we do, man. Like, congrats, man, because shoot, when Mike kind of threw that, that fact out, like, it's true. It's so easy to just like, we'll take a month off, and it ends up being a year, and you never see it again. And we're 4 years strong, guys, and we just getting started. So we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and the fans, just keep supporting us, man. This is just free, fun content. If you can name another podcast that collides the worlds of sports and comics, then please do. I look forward to it. Crickets. I haven't heard it yet. So just keep supporting us, guys. We love it. Hopefully our boy from Belgium is still supporting us. I'm still trying to find out who that guy is, because he is a freaking just weekly supporter for damn sure. And again, man, look out for us in 2 weeks. And in between now and then, I know Mike, myself, and Mark are going to keep, getting on the content with you guys through social media. And hey, we love you guys.
That's right. That's right. We love you guys, and it's always a surprise, and you never know what you're going to get. On 182, it's over, but thank you guys. Thank you, fans, for always tuning in, always following us, always helping us with creating this content and, being live for you guys and, lively at midnight as the clock just struck. But it is Tuesday here on the West Coast now, so we're going to let you go. But if you guys want to follow us, as always, at the Comic Bookies on Twitter, on Instagram, on all social media. If you guys want to send us an email, thecomicbookies@gmail.com. That is where you can get in touch with us. Like Mike said, we always got a bunch of giveaways to give away. We always got new stuff, new, endeavors that we want to do with you guys. So keep connecting with us. Keep letting us know what's good, what's bad. But like Sean said, ain't no one else going to do it like we. Ain't nobody does it better. Little Nate Dogg, man. So
R.I.P., baby.
R.I.P. to the big Nate. So thank you guys. And this has been the Comic Bookies Podcast 182. We love you.
Yes, sir. Thanks, gentlemen, again for another great 4 years of this show. Can't wait for the next 4. But as far as the stats are concerned, for the last couple episodes of the podcast, still sitting atop of the United States leaderboard is the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose Bay Area. Phoenix, Arizona jumps into the second spot with Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto. My hood out here is number 3. Orlando, Daytona Beach, number 4. Boston, Massachusetts, Houston, LA, Vegas, Roanoke, and Lynchburg, Virginia comes into the top 10
Virginia,
with Washington, D.C. rounding at the top 10. But for Mark and Sean, this is Mike. This has been the Comic Bookies Podcast, episode 182. Catch us here live on YouTube every other week during the non-football season, and every single week during the football season. We're also on wherever you get your podcasts. But thank you so much. Enjoy the sports, enjoy the comics, and enjoy the hell out of each other. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
peace.
Peace, and always enjoy each other. Congratulations to UConn. Congratulations to LSU. And this weekend, a tradition like none other. I can hear the birds in the background and Nance's voice as I speak right now.
Jim.
Let's go, baby. The Masters. Peace out. We love you.